Getting ready to in a second.
Number 33, Brian Kelly. Number 55, Elijah.
Explain that to the umpires.
Yeah, I'll go back.
Explain that. Never mind.
Never seen the catcher's meeting at the 35.
Is it MC?
Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. The Oak Ridge High School Wildcats getting set to take on the McMinn County Cherokees in the second round of the TSSAA playoffs. The Cherokees are coming onto the field. The captains have already met at the center of the field, and we're just moments away from the do-or-die ball game here at McMinn County High School. Alex Myers now joins us here. Alex, we came down here last year. This is where our season came to a close. The Wildcats hoping for better things here tonight in Athens.
Yeah, it was a memorable game for sort of the wrong reasons. It was a tough ball game. One thing you know about this McMinn County team through the years under this coaching staff, this program is going to play hard. They're going to play tough, and you're going to get their best effort, win or lose. They're going to fight, and I expect nothing less out of this team tonight. I'm really interested to see, particularly with the seniors on this team, how they respond. I heard Brian Kelly on the sideline saying something along the lines of it's good to be back, and boy, he was just ready to go. He's talking about, he doesn't like the anticipation. He just wants to play, and I think that's sort of a vibe you're going to see from this Wildcat team, and I hope it's one that you see from all these guys, is that they're ready to go. They want to put the past behind them. That loss last year definitely left a bitter taste in these guys' mouth.
The Wildcats will be receiving the kick, and I can kind of see why they don't like the lights in here. It's hard for me to kind of see through this window here. I'm sorry, Mark and Shauna, but it looks like we're going to have to turn the light off here, and much better here as the Wildcats and Cherokees are about to kick off, and ball's on the tee, and here's the kick. It's high, it's short, end over end. It's going to be fielded by the Wildcats at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, up to the 26-yard line.
It's arms on the return. That's a freshman who hasn't got a lot of touches, but you've mentioned how talented he is with the ball in his hand, and that's a couple of weeks in a row now where he's gotten a shot on the return game, and he's made the most of it.
We're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, and we are streaming this ball game. And when I get a chance, I'm going to run down some of the people who have helped have made us possible for us to stream this ball game. As the Wildcat offense will come onto the field here. Play clock is set at 40, and here come the Wildcats onto the field. Starting at quarterback for the Wildcats will be Ethan Garza. Ethan is 6'1", 180-pound junior. The backfield consists of Jai Hunley and DeJavis Dozier. Wildcats in their jumbo set. First down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes to the running back, and he moves the ball for a gain of about 3. It'll be for the Wildcats second down and about 7 yards to go. About 7 yards to go on a 3-yard gain. The Wildcats coming out of that jumbo set against a big line for the McMinn County Cherokees. The Wildcats split out. Brandon Hayward split to the left side. Handoff goes. Once again, the Wildcats get a little bit of a crease there and up to around the 35-yard line and push back. Kind of surprised the Wildcats are coming out in that jumbo set against this big line. It'll be for the Wildcats now third down and about 2 yards to go.
Down on the field, you almost think conditions, it's not raining, hasn't rained in several hours, but just going down on the field, if you throw a football and it hits that ground, it's soaked for a couple of minutes. And I saw one of the coaching staff bring over some kitty litter before the game, so they're concerned clearly about the wetness of the ball. And there's movement on both sides. We'll have to see where this goes. If it's against McMinn County, it will be a first down.
I was speaking to one of the officials before the game. They are from the Knoxville area. It is going to be a dead ball foul against the Cherokees, and that'll be a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. So there was movement on the left side of the line. The Wildcat came in motion, I believe, from the slot position, and that created him to caused him to jump off sides.
I don't think we've seen a lot of motion out of this big package so far this year. Oak Ridge has a lot of motion in their offense, but usually when they're in this jumbo set, they're pretty cut and dry. Once they come out of the huddle and get set, to me, I don't have a great recollection of them doing a lot of motion.
Tex, along with Searle, Blair, Hill, and Malcody are the linemen. Here's the handoff to the Wildcat running back, and straight up the gut running. It's like watching Ray County all over again. It's a gain of about 2 on the play.
You know, you'll like this, the historian in you. I was talking to a gentleman, he's got the grandfather. He's got a grandson at this game, and he was asking if I was with Oak Ridge. I said, yeah, and he said, well, my grandson's out here. I asked what number is he? He said 41, and he goes, well, I used to go to church with Emory Hale.
Second down, 8 yards to go. Handoff goes to Dozier. Dozier busts to the outside. I thought he was going to get outside, but they didn't have any room because they're all so tightly packed in there. It's a gain of about 1 yard on the play. If he gets outside, that's a touchdown right there.
It's just very interesting, the strategy. Usually Oak Ridge mixes this in several possessions into a ball game, maybe for just a play or two at a time. But Oak Ridge has come out in every play so far to start this game, 5 or 6 plays into it, they've been in that package. 3rd and long now, they're going to be forced to spread things out. They bring their smaller guys in.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd down, a long 5 to go for a first. The Wildcats at the 45-yard line, not even quite to that. It's at the 44. It'll be with 9:34 to play in the quarter. The Wildcats come out in that formation. Now they're behind the sticks here. Garza's going to pass. He's open. The pass is going to be deflected at the line and almost intercepted. So the Wildcats on their opening possession, and I'm not a coach, and they've seen what McMinn County does on tape, but the Wildcats are going to have to punt on their opening drive here. I think they spread them out a little bit. They can get Dozier would have had the corner there, and that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it's easy to second guess from the top view where we're looking at it, but it's just very interesting. I'd love to maybe potentially ask Coach at the end of the game what they saw on film, why they decided to go with that look. But here comes Brennan in the punt unit.
Yeah, Brandon Pearson is in punt formation, 4th and 6. Little pressure here. He kicks the kick away. Nice. It's a high, very high kick. It's going to be fielded by number 3 for the McMinn County Cherokees, and that's where the Cherokees will take over at the 17-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go.
Something to keep an eye on as we go throughout this game, being on the field in warm-ups. Nick Suttles, a former crew member, and I were throwing football a little bit, and not that anybody cares about that, but the reason is when he would throw a ball kind of high, these lights are not particularly high, and even just throwing the ball, it's very easy to lose them. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as this one goes.
Hand off to the running back, and he moves the ball, and he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. We are going to be a loss of about a half a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11 yards to go. Why don't you set the starting lineup for the defense for the Wildcats?
Well, the defensive backfield, starting up front, you've got Tyler Pickens, Tim Waters, Elijah Bradley, Vashawn Knowles, Brian Kelly, Terrence Anthony, and Grayson Hope. We'll get the defensive backfield after this play.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. The Cherokees on their opening drive here. The ball at the 16, hand off to the running back, looking for a hole, finding nothing. He's going to move the ball close to the 20-yard line. He'll be well short of a first down. Looks like it's going to be one of those slugfest games. The field is wet, but it's not soaking wet.
No, it's not. But again, something to remember, and I love real grass versus turf, but this is real grass. It doesn't drain as well. It hasn't rained in several hours, but it rained all day down here just like it did back in Oak Ridge. And it's pretty saturated, I'll say that.
3rd down, 8 yards to go for the Cherokees, moving left to right. The snap goes, a little quick pass is going to be caught, but not for a first down. The Wildcats are there. Just a little quick pass from Caden Hester, the quarterback, and now they'll be forced to punt. So neither team moving the ball. We got a first down on a penalty. They get nothing, and the Wildcats will drop back. Brandon Hayward to receive the punt.
Nice defensive stop right there. Both offenses a little bit stale, or not stale, but stagnant to begin the game. The final 4 of the defensive backfield to set the starting lineups on that drive. Brandon Hayward, Elijah Rogers, Price Davis, and Dallas Frent. Hayward back deep at his own 35 to receive this one, and they're going to get penalized as McMinn County's up back, if you will, just sort of moved early.
This is a second-round playoff game, and the crowd from both sides is not good at all. $10 a ticket, and what does the TSSAA expect?
Well, we had to pay a generous chunk of change to be able to broadcast this, and so that combined with the weather, I know there's been some attendance issues the different places this season as the punt's off, and it's a good one.
It's a wobbly kick. Wildcats have got to get away from it. It's going to be rolling dead at around the 35-yard line, about the 36, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over first down, 10 yards to go. Let's see if the Wildcats come out of that jumbo set here and get in their normal set.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say no. It didn't have a lot of success. They got a first down out of it, but if you remember, they got the first down on a offsides on third down, and so it will be interesting to see here. And it looks like exactly what I was thinking. Oak Ridge is going to come out and spread things out. They've got the two-headed monster in the backfield. They've got Dozier as well as Jai Hunley available, and Brian Kelly even playing a little H-back.
Jai Hunley, Brandon Hayward split to the left side, single man far to the right. First down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes up the middle, moving the ball across the 40 up to the 43-yard line, and it'll be a fine gain of about 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, that's how you want to start drives. You get that movement and you get that push on first down, and I think you nailed it on the head, David. When you spread these guys out when they're big up front, automatically by default, it's going to create a little bit more space up front, and Oak Ridge took advantage of it. These running backs do not need much space. They just need a little bit.
It'll be for the Wildcats, second down, 4 yards to go. The Wildcats, there's movement this time on the right side of the Oak Ridge line. That should be a penalty against Oak Ridge.
And you know how I knew that one was against Oak Ridge? I had looked down at a roster for a second, didn't see who did it, but I heard a pound on the roof above us. And based on where Oak Ridge's coaching staff is, right above us, I knew that was on us.
We're streaming this game on our YouTube channel. We have no score. This is a do-or-die ball game. The winner to play the winner of the Powell Walker Valley ball game going on tonight. We'll be checking scores of other ball games. Second down, we'll call it 9 yards to go this time. Wildcats with two receivers to the left. Ethan Garza, the quarterback, over 1,000 yards passing. Wildcats, Garza back to pass, has all day. He's going to crack it and go deep. There's a man open. It's Elijah Rogers. He can't make the catch. Good coverage there by the Cherokees, but Rogers was open for a second, but he kind of stopped off on his route. Maybe the pass was a little bit slightly underthrown. It's now going to be third down, 9 yards to go.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You almost think if Elijah keeps running, it might have hit him. But at the same time, he stopped and he skied up and was able to get his hands on the ball. So just a tough break for Oak Ridge. Would have been a tough ball to catch. But I like Oak Ridge taking a shot there on first down.
I think there's going to be a penalty. It's going to be illegal procedures, so the Wildcats are going to do it all over again once again. It's kind of hard to see the field here. We have to turn our lights out, and I understand why, because the reflection back in the glass is brutal. I mean,
yeah, well, and it's even more brutal, David, when you're staring back at yourself.
Especially. All right, okay.
I haven't done that all year. Yeah. Come on. Mike Sheehan's not here, so somebody had to take a shot at one of our crew members.
So they declined the penalty, so it's going to be third down, 9 yards to go. They stepped it off, but I guess they forgot to ask McMinn County if they wanted to take the penalty. It'll be third down, 9 yards to go for the Wildcats. Garza's going to go in a reverse on the right side. They've got all kinds of room. 35, there's a flag down. 40, 50, 45 to the 40. That's Almani Rimbert all the way down to the McMinn County 23-yard line, but the Knox County officials have thrown a flag. You talk about a great play. It was so wide open here on the near sideline.
It was set up perfectly. Great call. The exact right time you want to call that. They were on the near side hash. They did all the motion to the far side where there was more room. Defensively, you think that's where this thing's probably going. And all of a sudden, here comes Almani around the back side. He just needed one block. He got it. But they're going to say, I don't know what to call it. He just kind of flexed on us. That's a weird signal.
It was some kind of a personal foul. He signaled personal foul to start, yeah. And the official from Knoxville, hopefully not the ones from South Doyle, Cornbread's not here, I don't believe, hopefully, and they're going to step yardage off against the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's weird. I've been watching football for a long time, and I'm not sure I've seen that. You used to a block in the back, a cut block, a holding signal. The official almost literally, as if you were flexing, put both arms and kind of touched his knuckles together. That's a new one for me.
So now it's going to be third down, 26 yards to go. We don't been down here before, and obviously these are not McMinn County officials, but we haven't gotten a lot of calls in the past. But it looks like we've got a crew that is in the second round of the playoffs, and they want to call everything.
Well, I think if you're Oak Ridge, you're sort of backed up here. You've got a good punter at your disposal. I think Oak Ridge, you're either going to take a deep shot to where if it gets picked off, it's essentially a punt, or you're going to do something really safe. I'd be surprised if Oak Ridge did anything intermediate here.
Take a timeout with them. 6:10 to play here in the first quarter. 0-0 our score. We'll be back in 60 seconds. It's a little out of focus, isn't it?
It's only bad part like those cameras, they autofocus. It's not great for sports.
No. I don't have the stopwatch, so.
Oh. What were you scrambling? Did I have one of your papers?
I'm looking for it. It's the name that
Yeah.
paid for the screen.
You want me to? You texted the other day.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that signal is. He did this, and I don't know.
He did this, and then he went like, it's weird.
I'd like to see what that was.
We're streaming this game live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Wildcats have it third down, 26 yards to go. Ethan Garza is going to go with a pass. Going to go across the way. Pass is going to be caught by Brandon Hayward. He's going to be horse collar down, not officially a horse collar, right at the 29-yard line. They gained 5 or 6 yards. That'll give Brendan Pearson a little bit more time to punt the ball away, a little bit more room to punt the ball away. Brendan Pearson will come into the game to punt the ball away. I mentioned coming into this ball game that Ethan Garza, although he didn't start until later in the year, has 1,150 yards passing. That's good enough for 22nd best all time. He's thrown 10 touchdown passes. The penalties hurt the Wildcats, 2 of them on that drive. Here's the punt by Pearson. He blocks the punt. It's going backwards, and it's going to be picked up by the Cherokees, then fumbled again. That's the first time all season long they have come so close to blocking punts. That time it was blocked immediately, and they have it first down and goal to go at the 10-yard line.
It's a really, really brutal break for Oak Ridge because I was sitting there going, you could sort of flip the field even though you weren't in a great spot with a weapon like Brennan back there at punter. But you mentioned they've been close a lot this year. Oak Ridge hasn't had any blocked. They almost got the first one blocked this time, and you just sort of think maybe it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, it did right there, and all of a sudden it's first and goal inside the 5 for McMinn County.
Hand off to the running back. He's hit in the backfield, and down he goes. They're going to lose yardage, maybe a half a yard or so. It's going to be second down and goal to go for the McMinn County Cherokees. 5:43 to play first quarter, 0-0 the score.
Jaden Miller, the 6'1" tailback, he's pretty big and tall, long legs for a tailback at the high school position. You almost wonder, trying to start from without much of a running start this side, this close into the goal line. I don't like that with big backs. I like give the guy a little bit of a room to run, get him going downhill before he gets a handoff.
Quarterback's going to run the ball. He's going to hit the line of scrimmage and move the ball forward for a gain of about a yard or so. I'm going to tell everybody this. The people who are watching the YouTube stream, and we appreciate all the texts we're getting, we do know that the mics are open. We cannot shut the mics off. So, unfortunately, sometimes we say some things maybe that we shouldn't say, but I don't think so. We are aware that the mics are open during the break.
Well, I don't want to jinx it. Probably give myself some time. I will. I don't think we've said anything yet.
No. It'll be third down, goal to go for the Cherokees after the block punt. The Wildcats stagnant on their first drive, and then that drive penalties hurt them, and now McMinn County trying to get into the end zone. This is an elimination ball game. Big power formation once again, handoff to the back, hitting the backfield again, and down he goes. And it'll be for the Wildcats a big hit there, I think, by Tyler Pickens.
Tyler Pickens was in there. Terrence Anthony in there. Boy, Oak Ridge has been stout, and without hesitation, McMinn County's going to go for this. But, hey, Oak Ridge is backed up. It's all the way at the 4-yard line. It's not like they're inside the 1 or 2. They've got to get 4, almost 5 yards here to score. Let's see if Oak Ridge can come up with one more big stop.
Fourth down, goal to go at the 4. Handoff. Now the quarterback's going to roll to his right, look to pass it. He's at the end zone. He dives to the pylon, and he's in, I believe. As he is, that's a touchdown. They did a really good job stopping him up the middle, but then the quarterback rolled to his right, and he just had to dive for the pylon, and they take the lead 6-0 with 3:59 to play. So a blocked punt sets up their score.
That's really, really going to be frustrating when Coach Cummings watches the tape, because trying to set the edge was Ben Birdwell, senior defensive end for Oak Ridge, and he got held. I mean, there's no way around it. He got held. And that's Coach Cummings is not going to like that, and Oak Ridge fans aren't going to like that when they watch this replay. But them's the breaks, as they say, and Oak Ridge is going to have to respond.
They'll go for the extra point here. 3:59 to play here in the first quarter. And they'll go for the extra point. So first break of the ball game goes to the Cherokees here. Ball is down. The kick is on its way, and it's blocked. So the extra point is blocked. So I guess that's what we're going to see here in this one.
Ball don't lie, as they say, David.
That's what Thomas Cox, who's listening to us tonight in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. 6-0 our score. We'll take a break. We'll be back to McMinn County with a Cherokee kickoff in 60 seconds.
That's me. Did you see Ben? Did you see how bad Ben was getting hurt? I mean, it was 2 or 3 times. Well, I'd say it was Thomas's. Yeah, focus. Tell him slow movements.
We're streaming this game on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. 3:59 to play here in the first quarter. 6-0 is our score. Here's a kick by the Cherokees, and it's high end over end kick. It's going to go sailing into the end zone, and that will be a touchback.
Oak Ridge's offense comes back onto the field now, David. This is a sneaky big drive early in this game, backed up inside your own 20-yard line. Nothing's too big this early in the ball game, but if you were to go 3 and out here, have to punt it back, give them a short field, the momentum would start to snowball essentially. So even if you don't score, if you're Oak Ridge, you got to move the chains a couple times here. Get your offense a little bit in a rhythm. They haven't really been in one so far. Try to get some playmakers the ball.
Connor Cummings and Elijah Rogers split to the left side of the Wildcats with a man in motion. Running back's going to get it. That's Jai Hunley. Jai Hunley moves the ball for a gain of about 3. I guess the Wildcats have seen on tape that they can run the ball on this team. They have tried to do that. They came out in that jumbo set and were forced to punt. Wildcats, that penalty. I'll still be kind of eager to find out what that penalty was.
Yeah, I would be too. Maybe we can find out at half. I'm not familiar with it was something major apparently, because it would be a 15-yarder. That's
gain of 4 on the previous play. Garza's going to pass is high. It's going to be incomplete. Intended for Connor Cummings, and just kind of over the top of him. It'll be for the Wildcats now, 3rd down to 6. Wildcats cannot get their offense going here.
They can't. That's 2 drives in a row where the first play of the drive has been a run for somewhere between 4 and 6 yards on both drives. So they've had a good start to the drive, but on 2nd and 3rd down, they're really struggling. This time, knock on wood, they haven't had a penalty to stop it, but still 3rd and a long 6. You got to try to find a way to pick this up right here.
3:23 to play first quarter, 3rd down and 6, as Alex said. 3 receivers to the left. Garza's got time. Breaks down now, fires a pass. It's going to be caught by Jai Hunley, and he's going to be tackled at around the 28-yard line. He needed to get up to the 30 for a first down. It'll be 4th down and 2 yards to go. And it'll be the punt team coming back out on the field once again. So the Wildcats fail to move the ball once again.
Yeah, it's frustrating. That's a safe pass, and it was open. But if you're McMinn County, that's sort of where you want to bait Oak Ridge into throwing. If they're going to throw short of the change way out in the flats like that, you're going to let them do it on 3rd and 6. And, unfortunately, you're going to have to punt it back. Boy, we could really use a strong punt from Brennan right here.
Low snap. They're not coming this time. It's a low. Actually, it's a high spiraling kick. Backing up for it, number 7, and he's going to return it. Moves the ball to his left, and he's going to go out to the right side, over towards the Oak Ridge sideline. Nehemiah Elmore tries to grab him. They pummel him at around the 30-yard line, and that is where McMinn County will have it. First down, 10 yards to go, 2 minutes, 20 seconds to play, and it's 6-0 with the McMinn County Cherokees in the lead.
Davian Evans with the return there was a nice juke moves by him, nice footwork to escape and get the yardage she did. Unfortunately for McMinn County, and fortunately for Oak Ridge, there was a flag on the play.
Here comes the Cherokee offense once again. Caden Hester is the quarterback for them. They're wearing their all-black jerseys with gold. The Wildcats down 6-0. A short field, a block punt. They took over at the 5 and took it in from about 4 yards out. There is a penalty on the play, and they mark it back to the 20-yard line. It'll be for the Cherokees. First down and 10 yards to go. Caden Hester is the quarterback. I believe he was their guy a year ago. They're going to hand it to the running back. He's stuck in the middle part of the line. I guess both teams have seen on tape that they can run the ball on the other. Neither team able to run the ball on the other to start.
Start, but it will be interesting to see which coaching staff sort of sticks with that. This doesn't appear to be a game that that's going to be an aired out type. Doesn't appear like it's going to be early on, at least a real high scoring shootout type of game. So I think maybe let's see which coach is willing to stick it out on the run game.
Quarterback's in a lot of trouble, rolls and falls down himself. He slips on the wet turf, so that's the first indication that there is a slick turf out there. He rolled out to his right, saw nothing initially, then he was being pursued by Tyler Pickens, and down he goes towards a big loss.
And Pickens is fired up. He had a big hit on that punt return, and right there he was right up in the quarterback's face afterwards. I don't know who said what first, but somebody didn't like something that was said and had to be a little bit separated there. Now 3rd and long. Oak Ridge sort of can pin their ears back, but Sean Knowles' speedy edge rushers have got a chance to make a play.
Grady Prince split off to the right side. The backfield consists of Jaden Miller, and he's going to get the handoff, moving the ball for nothing. They're tackled to the 15-yard line. It's 4th down and long, and now they'll be forced to punt. The Wildcats should get great field position. Brandon Hayward will drop back to receive the kick.
They should. We'll have to see. McMinn County's one of those schools, kind of like Dobbins, Bennett, and Farragut over the years. It doesn't matter what year you play them. It seems like they've always got a good kicker.
We appreciate you listening to our broadcast here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. And it'll be punt formation for the Cherokees, standing back inside the 5-yard line. The Wildcats are putting 10 on the line. Here's the punt. It's away. It's a end-over-end kick. Brandon's going to let it bounce, and it's going to go rolling inside to the 35-yard line.
That's hitting yardage, David.
And we've got I think we roughed the kicker on the other side. The same guy who called that other thing has called this one, I believe. We'll check the call. We'll see if it's a personal foul roughing the kicker. And it is personal foul roughing the kicker against the Wildcats. So the Wildcats killing themselves, shooting themselves in the foot with penalties here in the early going. Wildcats trailing by a score of 6-0, 24.7 seconds to play in the first quarter. Wildcats and Cherokees, the rivalry, if it's a rivalry, this is the 35th meeting. That's a lot of meetings between the two schools. Wildcats lead the all-time series 26-6.
Thanks to Guy Hamrick, who has people may not know him, but they know his voice, legendary PA announcer at Blankenship Field. He called you, David, and left a voicemail and says the call on the field was an illegal block back towards McMinn County sideline. So essentially, you think about those crackback blocks, I think is essentially, they tried to get that out of the game, and I think Guy is saying that was the call. So thank you very much, Guy, for helping us clear that up.
Appreciate that. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, probably the final play of the first period. Hester brings him up once again. 2 receivers to the right, Hensley and Pryor. Thompson's a receiver. Hand off to the running back, and he is moving the ball for a gain of about 5 up to the 35-yard line. And did you say there's another flag on the play?
There is.
These guys, is it a chop block against them?
No,
These guys
holding.
These guys want to call everything. That's why this is, it could have happened, but this is a playoff ball game. Nobody came to see these guys from Knoxville. It could have been a very bad block. But, all we've seen is officials throwing their flags early on.
And it's so hard as a player to get into a rhythm when you're constantly stopping and starting like that.
Thompson comes in motion to the left side. Here comes some pressure. Little screen pass, intercepted by Oak Ridge and dropped. The Wildcats fought themselves for that ball. It was tipped up, could have been intercepted by a lineman or Pickens or somebody, and then the Wildcats all converged, white shirts, about 3 or 4 of them, and knocked the ball down.
Yeah, it could have been intercepted by about 6 different Wildcats, and unfortunately, just wasn't able to hold on to that one. Oak Ridge has played, as a defensive line in particular, they've played the screen game the past several weeks, really starting at Campbell County. Played it very, very well. They did it again there.
7.9 seconds to play in the first quarter, 6-0 McMinn County. Second down, 20 yards to go. Quarterback Hester to pass, fires one way overthrown, incomplete. Defending back there for the Wildcats, I believe, was Izzy Mitchell. It'll be third down, 20 yards to go. Still 2 seconds left in this quarter. This drive started with 13 seconds, and now it's down to 2. And I do believe this will be the final play of the first quarter, unless there's another penalty from our friends from Knoxville.
Don't say that. You don't want to jinx it.
6-0 our score. The Cherokees on top. We're streaming this game thanks to some generous donations from different people in the community. Third down, 20 yards to go. Hester was going to hand it off to the running back, and good play. The Wildcats were caught napping, and down the sideline they go. Tackle made across midfield all the way down to the 30-yard line. Great play, delayed handoff, and a pickup, and that's how the first quarter comes to close. We'll come back and talk about that. 6-0 our score. We'll be back with the second quarter in 60 seconds. For those of you watching on our stream, we appreciate all of the people who made it. The TSSAA charges us $750 to stream any live game, and we'd like to thank Heather Hartman as a sponsor. She has done it the last 2 weeks. Ben Pomey. We also like to thank Teresa Ledden. Teresa Ledden is a teacher at Oak Ridge High School. We also like to thank Dr. Garfield Adams for helping us with our stream as well. We couldn't do it without them, and we appreciate Tracy Larrabee, who also helped with our stream to get the game on. We had to raise the money, and they came through for us, and we appreciate them. Back here at McMinn County High School, the Cherokees have it. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 32-yard line. Great play call there by the Cherokees.
Tremendous play call, Dave. They essentially rolled to the left just like they had the previous couple of plays. And while all the wideouts looked like they were going to be going towards the left side, drew the defensive backs and linebackers that way. They just had a delayed draw back to the right side, and the running back had all the space he wanted right there.
First down, 10 yards to go. Opening play of the second quarter. They lead Oak Ridge 6-0. Handoff goes to the back, and he's going to be pummeled again at the line of scrimmage. Wildcats doing a really good job stacking them up in the middle. It's their that play just a moment ago, which had the Wildcats kind of out of position. 6-0 our score. The ball is at the 32-yard line. The Underwood family listening to our broadcast back in Oak Ridge, along with Tommy and Martha Lee. We got a lot of people telling us they're listening to our game. Gain of a yard on the play. Second down, 9 yards to go for Caden Hester. Lone running back, and he's going to get the call, and he's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Not much going for either team, with the exception of that one play. Not much going between the tackles. Tyler Pickens on the stop.
No, Pickens, and I think it was Terrence Anthony, 6, who came flying in there, and Oak Ridge's defense has played really good. You just tuning in, it's 6-0. That wasn't on the defense, but they've played really well so far. Third down here, but you got to play this. You got to think from a coaching staff perspective. McMinn County's probably in 4-down territory, so it's not like they've got to pick up 6. They really just need to pick up a couple because they're probably in 4-down territory.
From the 28-yard line, third down, 6 yards to go. Hester back to pass, fires one. Pass is going to be incomplete. Defending out there again for the Wildcats, Elijah Rogers along with Price Davis and Izzy Mitchell. It's now fourth down and 6 yards to go.
And now you start to think, okay, what have you seen as a defense from this offense already. And no, I was wrong. They're going to send their kicker out. They've had a good kicker several different times, but they've had a couple of great ones, haven't they?
They had one guy that went to Georgia and was at one point their all-time leading scorer at Georgia history. As they're going to go for, this is a 45-yard field goal from the right hash. The officials didn't believe it. Now they're getting in position. It's 4th and 6. Ball is down. The kick is on its way. It's not going to get there. It's going to be short. Going to go into the end zone right below the crossbar, so it'll be Oak Ridge holding them. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line.
And very important when you look back at third down, because that was a 46-yard attempt. It was probably good from 43 or 44, so if Oak Ridge gives up any yardage right there at all, it's now a two-possession game. Instead, they hold them without scoring, and Oak Ridge is in this ball game. 6-0 the deficit. Oak Ridge has got to get in a rhythm here. They've had one good play here or there, but they've really yet to stack a couple of good plays on top of each other.
Will Presley and Almani Rimbert will be receivers to the right. The Wildcats have one lone running back, 2 receivers to the left. Brandon Hayward is one of them for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge quarterback is Ethan Garza. 6-0 McMinn County. They're starting this drive at their own 20. Wildcats come in motion. They get the handoff. That's Brandon Hayward. Brandon Hayward moves the ball to the 25-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play. Second down, 5 yards to go.
And I like what they're doing. The passing game is not there early on. I'm telling you, this field is slicker than you would think, David. You even saw it right there as Hayward comes around. Usually he's a big one-cut guy. He puts that plant foot in. He gets upfield. He just doesn't have the confidence to do that. He was taking short little choppy steps to try to make sure he didn't fall as he cut upfield. It's taken both offenses and defenses it's going to affect, but it's just taken everybody a little bit longer to do the things that they want to do.
It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. 2 receivers, actually 3 to the left of the quarterback, which is the far sideline. Wildcats have Will Presley to the left. Garza's going to pass across the way. Pass is caught for a Tim Bank of Oak Ridge first down by Connor Cummings. Ball is at the 35-yard line. Nice pass, nice catch, nice route. First and 10 Wildcats.
Nice to see 9 back in there and involved after he's hadn't played most of the season. He's been back for a few weeks now, but I don't think he's gotten in maybe as good of a rhythm as he would like. That time, great protection, started up front, and then great timing. Monty Rimbert faked out left, and they just hit a slant as the linebacker cleared out and made some space for Cummings coming across the middle. Really nice play.
From the 35-yard line of the Wildcats, first down, 10 yards to go. Man comes in motion again. Handoff goes this time up the middle, moving the ball across the 40, up to the 43-yard line. The Wildcats' Jai Hunley. Jai really having a great year for the Wildcats. Had a great game last week. Jai Hunley comes in with 1,151 career rushing yards. That's good enough for 38th on the all-time list. 12 touchdowns in his career. Had a great game last week.
Probably his best game in his career, and in most Wildcats' career would be their best game. But phenomenal performance last week. Boy, you'd love to see him have another game like that this week.
Ethan's going to pass, has time, goes deep to Will Presley. It's incomplete. Might have been held just a little bit, but I don't think Will even honestly thought the ball was going to come his way. He looked up for it. Good coverage there by the Cherokees. We got a lot of people watching and listening to us. A shout out goes to veteran Cheryl Smith, Wildcat class of 1956 and a U.S. Marine, watching in Oak Ridge on this Veterans Day.
Big call right here. Okay, never mind. It's third down. They had the chain saying fourth down, and I was going to go, this is interesting that Oak Ridge is going to go for this. But while we have a moment on 3rd and 4, the ball at the 42-yard line of Oak Ridge. Thank you to all the veterans, as you mentioned a moment ago. Huge day, and we wouldn't be able to take nights like these like we do without
3rd and 4, bad snap, and Ethan's going to have to fall on it back at the 32-yard line, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt. So haven't had a whole lot of those, and I really don't think you can blame the rain on that one. That was just, unless our center just didn't have a good grip on it.
No, only maybe in the aspect that Ethan, that's happened a few other times this year, Dave, and Ethan's been able to sort of corral those one-handed. He wasn't able to that time. And while fans at home are probably frustrated at the end of that play where he just dove on the ball and accepted the loss, I'm glad he did that, because we saw when McMinn County had a ball on the ground earlier, they weren't able to scoop it, and it nearly created another turnover.
Here comes the pressure again. This time he gets the punt off. It's going to be a fair catch signal for, but he's going to let it bounce. It's going to roll dead at around the 35-yard line. Seems like all the punts and kickoffs roll dead at the 35, and that's where McMinn County will take over. What a frustrating first half of football for the Wildcats here. Only down 6-0. As you said, the defense has played well. the offense has sputtered at times here. They did get the one first down on a penalty and the other on a nice pass to Cummings. But other than that, the Wildcats have not been able to break off that big play we're so used to seeing.
They haven't, and maybe this is a game where offensively you're not going to be able to rely on the big play. Maybe you're going to just have to continue to be patient with that run game. Almost makes you think, boy, how big would an interception, a fumble, some sort of turnover by the defense be in a game like this?
First down, 10 yards to go for the Cherokees at their own 35. Hand off to the back, and there's nothing there. Wildcats stack him up in the middle of the line. This is like watching Ray County again, except the formation's different. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. 7:50 to play here in the first half. 6-0, McMinn County.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and boy, you got some beef up there up front, and for Oak Ridge, it's the freshman up there clogging things up. He's started to play more and more.
Tim Waters.
As we've got through the season. Waters making some big plays early on.
2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Cherokees. Fast-moving first half. Handoff goes. Now the quarterback's rolling. Looks to pass across the way. Wide open. He drops it. Wildcats bit on that play. Luckily, he dropped the ball. That might have been 6 points. And, Izzy's back there playing defensive back today for the Wildcats. Hasn't played a whole lot there in a while. That was a great play. The quarterback faked the handoff, rolled, and just fired. And if he catches that might be 6 points.
Yeah, a couple of really, really impressive play calls from this staff at McMinn County. That was the second of them, and it should have been a touchdown probably. The problem with this is, while that for most teams, I'll explain after this play. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Once again, Hester's going to roll to pass. Pressured. Lots of pressure. Here comes pressure. He is going to be nearly sacked. He lost the ball. Actually, they're going to call it a fumble, I think, right at the 34-yard line. So they're going to lose a yard. It's going to be 4th down. Facing McMinn County. I don't think he even knew that pressure was coming. Well, not until it was just about too late. And what I was going to say is the problem with the quarterback from McMinn County is he is such a running threat that on that 2nd down play that nearly went for 6, the problem why you have to bite on the safeties for Oak Ridge is because you have to respect his run. Most of the teams you play against, most quarterbacks, that's a simple 2-option play. It's a play fake, and then it's a pass. With him, it's a play fake pass, or he can run it. Here's the punt by McMinn County, another good punt, and we're going to let it bounce again. Brandon almost thought about picking it up, and he does. Picks it up, and he's going to gain about 3, and then there's a flag down on the play. Bashan Knowles and one of the Cherokees get into it here on the near sideline. I didn't see what happened, but I can only guess it's going to be a holding against Oak Ridge, as I don't know if it might be Izzy Mitchell. Somebody's down for Oak Ridge. Let's see if Brian Leffler is out there to attend to him, and it might just be a cramp on this damp, cool Friday here in McMinn County. The winner to play the winner of Walker Valley and Powell. A lot of people have asked me all week, Alex, if the bracket says it would be at home, they're going to say no flag on the play. It would be at home. That would be the case if Powell wasn't still playing. If Powell wins the ball game, the game would be at Powell. If Walker Valley somehow were to upset Powell tonight and Oak Ridge wins, it would be a Blankenship Field. That's the only way. Well, we know what we're rooting for then. Yeah, Walker Valley. Yeah, if we want to be a Blankenship Field. Here comes the Oak Ridge offense. Just under 7 minutes to go in the first half. 6-0 is our score. The Wildcats in the lead. The defense has been great. Offense needs to step it up here. Let's see what they can do on this drive. The ball is at the 26-yard line. Garza with 3 receivers to his left. The Wildcats one lone running back. And Garza is going to hand it off to Dozier, and Dozier has about a yard or 2. Wildcats have got to get their ground game going. It'll be 2nd down and about 9. I'd actually like to see them run the ball twice in a row here. They haven't done that a ton early on. They've had success. Obviously, they didn't have a ton that time, but running the ball doesn't just have to be with the running back up the middle. One of the best plays they've had all game, it was the best play easily, was the run to Almonte Rimbert. Now, it got called back, but things like that you can do. But because the Oak Ridge, the passing game, really for both teams, it's just not been there. I know it's not raining. It hasn't rained since either of these two teams got to the field, but it is really surprisingly slick out there. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Ethan Garza back to pass. Goes deep once again to Elijah Rogers. It's overthrown, incomplete. And it looks like he might have broken off his route just a bit.
Wildcats now third down, 9 yards to go. The passing game, the deep pass, they've tried the deep pass several times. They must have seen that on tape, that they're suspect to that. Obviously, not the case. It'll be now third down, and although the marker says fourth, it is third down and 8 yards to go.
That's like 3 times they've messed that marker up. I don't know that I agree with you. I think I'm going to disagree with you, David. Those opportunities have been there downfield. The problem is Oak Ridge hadn't been able to connect, and I don't know if that's a wet ball, if it's miscommunication or what. The opportunities have been there. The connection has not.
Here comes the handoff to Dozier. Flags are down. That would have been a first down right there as Dozier is across the 40, but we're probably going to get a hold of some sort once again. Lots of calls here. Wildcats were a heavily penalized team early by the Knoxville officials at South Doyle, and they're getting everything called against them here in this one.
I think somebody must have got the prep radio signal must be strong, David. I think somebody must have been letting them know that this was going to be a broadcasted game. These guys, good grief. It's almost like watching Teddy Valentine in college basketball, where it's like you got to get your airtime or something. Like you said, and nobody came here to watch that, and I'm not just saying because Oak Ridge is getting called for the majority of the penalties. Even earlier, you said it when McMinn County got called for a penalty. It's just like, how do you get into a rhythm? And now Oak Ridge is backed up 3rd and 20-something inside their own 15.
3rd and 23, Mark Hayes says. He's our statistician. Wildcats have to get up to the 38-yard line for a first down. 5:50 to play in the first half, down 6-0. Ethan's going to pass, goes across the way, intercepted. Pass was intended there for Jaden Williams. The pass was underthrown, and probably Jaden needs to come back towards the receiver, but there was no way. That was just an underthrown pass.
It was underthrown. There was no way Jaden was going to make a play, and here's my problem with that pass. It's a dangerous pass against the defense they were running. They had that covered underneath, and even if Jaden catches that ball, Dave, he's 8 yards short of the first down. Where's he going if he catches that? If you're not going to take a shot to try to get the first down, to me, backed up in your own territory like this, you got to play it safer than that.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 19-yard line. Down to 5:40 to play. Quarterback hands it to the running back, and he's hit after a gain of about 2, maybe 3. We see they have a good kicker. They attempted a 45-yard field goal, so obviously they're in his normal range here. It'll be gain of 3. Second down, 7 yards to go. Mistakes killing the Wildcats here in the first half.
Absolutely, and it's self-inflicted mistakes, that we've seen the Wildcats do a much better job of the last third or so of the season, but unfortunately tonight it's not the case.
Second down, 7 yards to go. Quarterback to pass across the way. Pass is going to be caught for a touch. No, they're going to say incomplete.
Excellent defensive effort, individual effort by Elijah Rogers. It was a one-on-one matchup with the talented wide receiver Hayden Smith. Wonder if he might be related to Jawan Smith, who is from McMinn County. 6'3". Jawan wore number 2. I wonder about that, but it was a great individual effort because it was a good pass, good route, hit the guy in the hands, and he actually maintained control over it for a couple of steps, and then right at the last moment as he was about to cross the goal line, Elijah Rogers was able to get his hand in there and break it up.
Third down, 7 yards to go. The ball is at the 16-yard line of Oak Ridge. Once again, back to pass. Now rolling to his right, running, trying to get to the corner. And there's a hold, going to be a call. It's going to go against them. He's sacked anyway for a loss of about a yard. We'll check the call.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 separate flags on this. There's 3 on the field, but 2 of them on the far side are for that hold that you saw. There was another one almost as soon as the ball was snapped on the near side. Wonder if it could have been against Smith or I think it's going to be on McMinn County is my early thought here, but there's 2 flags. Important to remember.
Official's going to come over to the home side. We're down to 4 minutes, 54 seconds to play. We're on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. They're going to call illegal procedure against them. That's declined. They're going to call holding against the Cherokees, and that one will be accepted, I do believe. So they'll step yardage off against the Cherokees. 4:54 to play in a low-scoring game. Last week against Campbell County was a high-scoring affair. They put lots of points on the board. Campbell County's defense, not great, to be honest with you. Their offense is good, but they held their offense down. That's hard to do in itself. But this penalty yardage is going to be stepped back to the 30, where it's now going to be third down and 20 yards to go. Officials, penalties, turnovers. It's been an ugly first half.
And look where this yardage is. It would be just about the same for that kicker. So if you're McMinn County, you got to get something here.
He pumps one, sacked. He goes down. That's the 34. That's the 35-yard line. The Wildcats, big-time sack there.
Yeah, it looked like Elijah was the first one to get back there. A couple other Wildcats in the mix, Vashawn Knowles as well. What a play from this Oak Ridge defense, because just what we were talking about, they were still in the field goal range or thereabout of that talented kicker. Now, no more. They're going to have to punt this away. And if you're Oak Ridge, boy, you've lost a lot of hidden yardage in this ball game by letting punts roll. You got to put your heels to the 10. You don't want to be fielding the punts inside your own 5. But, boy, if you could save a couple of yards on this, that'd do your offense wonders.
Fourth down, 25 yards to go. 5-yard loss on the sack. Punt formation for the Cherokees. Snap is good. Punt is away. Little pooch kick. Looks like it's going to go in the corner there. It's going to go rolling dead at around the 3-yard line. That's just great punting right there. He didn't want to blast it. He positioned it perfectly. It goes out of bounds right at around the 3-yard line.
Spencer Sullins, 6'3", junior kicker. That's just hard to beat. I mean, there's really no return game, no defense against that. If a kicker's talented and he can coffin corner that thing and hit it out of bounds at the 3, really no defense against that.
Johnny Woody, a Wildcat veteran and a veteran of the Vietnam War, and an Oak Ridge banker is watching, and Tommy Laurendine, former Wildcat quarterback, watching us as well. We got a lot of people watching us here tonight.
We definitely do, and I'm glad the Oak Ridge, to be honest with you, the Oak Ridge fan support in the stadium tonight is a little less than I would like, but I'm glad we got people listening.
Hand off to Jai Huntley, moves the ball across the 5 up to around the 6. Wildcats just trying to find a little room here. Wildcats trailing 6-0, 3:47 to play. The winner to play the winner of Walker Valley and Powell. We'll have a scoring update on that. Wildcats moving quickly here. 2nd down, 7. Handoff goes to the running back, and he moves the ball close to the 10. It's now going to be 3rd down in a manageable situation for the Wildcats. It'll be 3rd down and about 2, and a timeout is asked for. And let's see who called it. It'll be, I thought he signaled timeout. Nope. It's going to be a sideline warning against McMinn County. Yeah, they just want to be seen. I mean, they're.
I mean, you want to talk about an unnecessary call, and see, that's against McMinn County. We're still saying it. I mean, let's just play the game. Oak Ridge is clearly trying to speed up the pace a little bit, get a little rhythm, and what do you know? You can't get a rhythm because now we've got to stop and look at the white hat. 3rd
down and 3, backfield split. The Wildcats with guards at a pass. Going to go deep again. Overthrown, incomplete.
You haven't been close all night on those. You just haven't.
Oh, we needed 3 yards right there. And if they connect, that's a big play. But now it's 4th down.
If I would have won the lottery the other day, David, I'd have been a millionaire. But it's not. And Oak Ridge hasn't really been close on that. You know, they've probably taken 5 deep shots, and I love taking deep shots, but it's just not been there. And like you said, a lot of times it's been 2nd and 3rd and long. It was not. It was 3rd and 3.
With 2 stud running backs that have over 1,000 yards in their careers. But it's 4th down and 3. The Wildcats punting from their own end zone. They had one blocked, and it resulted in a touchdown. This time they're not going to come in, really. He gets the punt away. It's going to be returnable. Nope, he's going to call for a fair catch right at midfield. So, if you hit on that, that's a big play, and you're going to go like 80 yards. But it was 3rd down and about 2 yards to go, deep in your own territory, when we haven't really been able, like you said, to connect. And I hate to just kind of pile on the play calling there, but we're down 6-0 in an elimination ball game. We've got 2 stud running backs. I hand the ball off to one of them. It'll be for the Cherokees. 1st down, 10 yards to go, officially at the 47. Hester to pass, fires it down the way. Pass is caught, and then the Wildcats make the stop at the 34-yard line. Flags are down again at the center part of the field. They're going to call holding, I think, against McMinn County. They will not allow either team to get in any kind of rhythm. And I see the frustration on the part of that young man for the Cherokees. Let them play, guys. Head back to Knoxville.
They're going to actually say it's, I think, a legal man downfield. Interesting. I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking on that side of the field. But
well, that means they're looking for that.
Interesting, though. I don't know, and I probably shouldn't say this. Oak Ridge fans are going to kill me if I jinx it here. I don't think a single defensive penalty has been called all night. It's all almost probably 80% been holding, and it's all been offensive. I don't think there's been a single defensive penalty, and you can't tell me if there's that many penalties going on out there that the defense hadn't committed one.
I'm just kind of eager to see what the conversation is between Coach Cummings across the way there. and the official. I guess they are going to step the 5-yard penalty off. An eligible receiver downfield. And, where that lineman was standing, he was just right at the line of scrimmage, basically. So couldn't have been too far down the field. It'll be first down, 15 yards to go. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Hester's going to hand it to the running back, and he's going to squirt forward, but not far. Going to get up to around the 47, and stop is made by Izzy Mitchell. You can hear some very sarcastic.
Well, no, actually what they were wanting was a face mask, and I saw it. I don't blame them. Of all ones not to call, Oak Ridge got away. It wasn't an egregious one, but the hand went across the face mask. The running backs.
You said it. They don't call it on the defense here.
I don't know. It's frustrating when this happens in the playoffs. I mean, you I don't know.
Third down, 13 yards to go. 2:13 to play. Hester to pass. Quick pass is going to be incomplete. Hitting out there was Elijah Rogers. The field conditions are bad, I guess. They're not terrible. I was out there myself, honestly. But the coaches are calling plays, I guess, in relation to what they feel the playing surface is going to be like. So now it's third down, 13 yards to go. So Wildcats need another stop here. There's only 2:10 to play in the first half in a 6-0 ball game. Caden Hester, 4-man front. He's going to hand it off to number 3. No, he's going to run it himself, and he goes down the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats were not fooled. The Wildcats should use their timeout, and they will. It'll be fourth down, 13 yards to go. The ball is at the 49-yard line, so their penalty hurt them.
Really disciplined right there. Vashawn Knowles didn't fall for the running back going out. He stayed with the mobile quarterback, and he was able to make the stop right there. And smart usage of the timeout. I love that timeout by Coach Cummings.
We're live on FM 92.7. We appreciate Brian Bennett back at the station. He's been with us several years now. We appreciate him. Of course, Oak Ridge High School basketball is going to start on Tuesday. We're not going to broadcast that game on the radio. We will stream the game live. Most of our away games, in fact, I think just about all of our away games we're going to try to do on the radio. And our home games we're going to be able to stream. Coach Gaddis, our athletic director, has allowed us to stream home games, and that's a benefit, and we appreciate that. But we're still looking for sponsors. We'll talk about that in a bit. Does Brandon let the ball go into the end zone? We've seen strategically the punter's pretty good about placing it.
Yeah, well, that would be assuming that the punter gives him a chance. I would not be surprised seeing the leg we've seen on this guy and the talent if he doesn't sort of eliminate that as an option and just kick it out of bounds.
Fourth down, officially 11 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge 49-yard line. 2:01 to play, first half. 6-0 is our score. Here's the punt. It's away. Good spiraling kick, and they're going to let it bounce. It's going to go into the end zone, so that's great. Wildcats are going to get it first down, 10 yards to go at the 20, and they've got a minute 52, and I know Coach Cummings, he's not conservative. He's going to go after him. He's not going to just lay it down right here.
I think that's the right call, and you got to remember, though, situational football, McMinn County has 3 timeouts, so what you don't want to do here is go 3 and out and not take any time off the clock. So depending on how this first down goes, if they get a stop or if Oak Ridge, throws an incompletion, don't be surprised if McMinn County doesn't start trying to use their timeouts and conserve some time to try to get one more shot at it. If you're Oak Ridge, I think obviously the passing game is in play here, but I think try to get something going easy, maybe a slant, maybe a quick screen.
First and 10 from the 20. Rimbert and Presley split to the far right. The Wildcats guards is going to go a little quick pass. It's low. It's dug out and gaining about 3 yards on the play. Wildcat receiver, and then you can hear the McMinn County people are not too happy.
Well, I don't think anybody's real happy that on either side of the field. McMinn County not calling a timeout right there, so this one's going to be snapped with under a minute and a half to play.
Second down, 7 yards to go. 3 receivers this time to the right. Garza is going to pass. No, he's going to run it. He's going to get a block. Looks down the field, fires one. Passes is incomplete off the fingertips of Connor Cummings. A little bit behind him. That would have been a first down. It's incomplete. It'll now be third down, 7 yards to go. I wish that Ethan would tuck it and run sometime.
Yeah. No, he's got athleticism, and that's a really, really nice play. In the stat book, nothing's going to come of that. But he did a really good job knowing where he's at, maneuvering around the pocket, all the while in high school. This is rare, keeping his eyes downfield, and the play broke down. Connor just kind of sat in the middle of the field where there was a soft spot in the defense, and unfortunately hit him in the hands. He couldn't hold
Third down, 7 yards to go. Here comes Garza. handing it off. The Wildcats moving the ball forward, but for only a gain of about 3. It'll be for the Wildcats 4th down with 1:14 to play, and now McMinn County will use that timeout.
Yeah, that's where that incompletion on 2nd down hurts you, because had that been a completion, even if you don't get a 1st down, you're probably well under a minute before you have to snap this ball. Instead, McMinn County with 3 timeouts, they're able to use just their first here with 1:13. And, it seems like I say this every time Brennan has gone back to punt tonight, but boy, we could use a boomer from him right here to flip the field.
And there was a penalty, and it was declined against the Wildcats. It was declined, and it'll be Brennan. We've had one punt blocked, and it resulted in their touchdown 4 plays later. It'll be Brennan Pearson standing back at around the 15-yard line. Long snapper for the Wildcats, Bryce Palmer. 4th down, 6 yards to go. 1:13 to play. Good snap. Here comes the punt. It's away. He gets a high one off. It's another fair catch is going to be signaled for and made all the way back at around the 30-yard line. It'll be at the 35, I guess. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go. 1:05 to play. And Hester, he has shown the ability to throw the ball. Let's see what they elect to do.
He is, but with they're on the board. They're saying they've got 3 timeouts. They should have 2 timeouts. But again, in high school, it's just like college. The clock's going to stop if they get a 1st down until they spot it. So with 2 timeouts, 1:05 seconds, a lot's in play here with the ball starting on the 35-yard line again.
1st down, 10 yards to go, 1:05 to play. Wildcats drop back just a little bit in coverage. Backfield split. Quarterback's going to drop the pass. He's sacked. He's going to go down at the 30. Now, do we call a timeout? Do we have any?
We just have one. I don't think you do right here, not with just one.
55 seconds to play, and I bet you McMinn County might think about just taking it into the half. They'll be receiving.
Jeremiah Holman with the tackle there, the first to get the credit for the sack. 44 seconds. That's a huge play because all of a sudden, like you said, McMinn County's going to sort of play it safe here. Oak Ridge not with enough timeouts to really be able to try to get the ball back. But that's a huge play, almost forcing McMinn County's hand to play this one safe. 2nd
down, 14 yards to go, 29 seconds to play. Hester's going to roll the pass.
Oh, no.
Looks, fires a pass in the flats, dropped. That stops the clock with 24 seconds to play. It's now 3rd down and 14 yards to go. So if we can get a quick stop here, Wildcats might have 10 or 15 seconds.
Well, I tell you what you do. If the clock doesn't stop automatically, meaning if the ball's inbounds, it's a run, it's a caught pass, as long as it's not a 1st down, you absolutely call a timeout. Normally, would you? Maybe not. But in playoffs, every inch matters, every second matters, and you've seen it with the punt earlier. Force these guys to execute a punt right here.
3rd down, 14 yards to go now from the 30. Quarterback's going to run it, and he is going to be knocked down eventually at around the 33-yard line. Whistled dead. 15 seconds to play, and let's see. The time is ticking down. I think now they finally – I think the official had been told by Coach Cummings that he wants to get a timeout sooner than that. They might have to put some more time back out on the clock. Officially, there's 10 seconds to play.
And there needs to be 14 or 15 seconds.
Right.
We'll see if they put it back on there, but
I think the judge on the other side was telling them that he had called a timeout. And I think maybe he'll come over to put a little extra time on the clock. He's wandering this way. On the scoreboard, it says 10.3 seconds, 6-0. Brandon's got to catch this one and return it this time.
Yeah. But I think you bring the house if you're Oak Ridge. I mean, put the pressure. In a situation like this, everybody knows, let's just get this one off, for McMinn County. If you're Oak Ridge, force them to execute. But if you don't bring pressure, if you don't, if you're worried about setting up a punt return right here, which that's one way to go, I don't know. To me, you have to force these guys to execute a punt, which 9 times out of 10 is pretty doable, especially when you got a good kicker back there. But ultimately, again, in these sorts of playoff games, one-possession games, you can't take anything for granted. You have to try to get every advantage you can get. And they did move it to 14 seconds back on the clock. So good job there by this officiating crew. Haven't necessarily said that a bunch tonight, but a good catch there.
Elijah Rogers is back to receive the punt, standing back at around the 30-yard line. Brandon, the Wildcats just are going to send everybody in there. I see Dallas Frentz in there. 4th down, 11 yards to go. 14 seconds to play in the first half. And now play is halted. I think McMinn County will call a timeout, I do believe.
Do they have too many people on there?
Well, it's not delay a game. The clock's still at 14 on the play clock. They've
got 11 on the field. McMinn County does.
How many do we have? We're counting.
Well, we're sending someone off, so
it's against them.
No, they misdirected it. They misdirected. It should have been on Oak Ridge. Tim Waters was sent off the field. I don't know who wasn't supposed to be on there, but now I don't think Oak Ridge is going to send anybody. So this is confusion right here.
Well, obviously, I guess we had 12 on the field. Is that what you're saying there, Alex?
I guess they started to mark it off, and they are finally going to come back and correct the call, like we said, and say it against Oak Ridge. Elijah Rogers, interestingly, came back from his return spot and is coming up towards the line of scrimmage. You almost wonder if Oak Ridge might send all 11. I don't know that I would do that. You got to have somebody watching these up backs to prevent the fake, and I think that's what Elijah's going to do. So you're going to have 9 men rushing, and here's another timeout.
Let's take it with them. 6-0 our score. We'll be back to McMinn County in 30 seconds. You can't hear the commercial in here. You can't hear that. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mark and Shauna Haste, our statisticians. We've got Josh Frazier. We've got Drew Thomas. We've got Lee Wexler. We have Matthew Charles doing camera work. And we got a new guy as well doing camera work as well. And Matthew Jules helping us out as well. 4th down, 6 yards to go for the Cherokees. 14 seconds to play, and they're going to fake it. And they're going to fumble the ball. It's going to be rolling and out of bounds with 6 seconds to play. The Wildcats are going to have the ball and a chance to throw it into the end zone here. So they went with the fake there, and down went one of their players, and the Wildcats are going to have the ball officially at the 35-yard line of McMinn County.
Worth a shot, I guess, but out of a timeout, that wasn't exactly the most unpredictable thing. McMinn County's got a guy down right here. If you're Oak Ridge in 6 seconds, you don't have a timeout, so you really only have one option. You throw to the sideline. I guess it's 2 options. Throw to the sideline quickly, try to get it in field goal range, or take a deep shot.
You know, Brennan Pearson can hit a long field goal. He can hit a long field goal. This would be about 50-some-odd yards. David Wilson's the guy that a lot of times goes with the field goals.
And they're going to give Oak Ridge. They're giving Oak Ridge, even their cornerbacks are playing about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. If I'm Oak Ridge, I say get something quick to the outside, pick up 5 to 8 yards here, get out of bounds. 6 seconds is not forever, but it's something. And 6 seconds is long enough time to get the ball out to Rimbert or Jaden Williams or somebody and just pick up 5 yards and make this a manageable situation.
3 receivers to the left of Garza, 6 seconds. 1st down, 10 at the 35. Garza's going to crank it. He's going to have to do it soon. Goes into the end zone. Man is there, passes up, and it's batted down as the first half comes to a close. So the Wildcats trail 6-0. It could have been a lot worse, to be honest with you, Alex. There's a lot of things that did not go well for the Wildcats. They had a blocked punt, which eventually resulted in their touchdown. The Wildcats threw an interception at around the 30-yard line. They didn't score on that drive. We've been penalized a ton. Mark will have that for 7 FM 94.7. We're streaming the game live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We appreciate you listening to our broadcast. We'll take a break. We're going to send it back. I'm going to set the stopwatch on the phone here. We're going to send it back once again to Brian Bennett. 6-0. McMinn County on top. We'll be back to McMinn County High School in 3 minutes. Right. Okay. All right.
Gotta make sure this side right here. See that little grip? Line it up, push it in. Click to just make sure you get the tug right there. It's not in. It's not loose. I would go ahead. I would go ahead.
Performance.
He said it was good.
And
So
the
then
by
we'll just give him this one. You just have to keep that. Yeah.
Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. 6-0 is our score. The Wildcats trailing the McMinn County Cherokees here at the halfway mark. The McMinn County band playing down here in front of us as we broadcast here. A lot of people listening to us. My old friend Bill Minot used to be the voice of the Pal Panthers is listening to us. Used to work with him back in the day at Horn Radio. Our friend Caleb Riker is watching our YouTube, and we're also on FM 92.7. Right now, the Wildcats are down 6-0. The scoring summary, I know Mike Sheehan's listening to us. He's getting ready to go to South America. I know he's listening to us. Normally, he does the scoring summary, but and it usually is kind of lengthy. It'll be a short one here in this one. It's only 6-0.
Yeah. Yeah, David, it's not much. I know, Mike Sheehan, if you were going to miss a game for scoring summary purposes, it'd probably be this one. I know he'd love to be here, and we wish him the best of travels as well. But yeah, it's a game. It's been a frustrating game. Really, both coaches are probably feeling frustrated, feeling like, hey, we should have done more with our opportunities than we did. But at the end of the day, you've got 2 quarters, season's on the line. It's a one-possession game. Your defense is playing well. Both defenses are. And ultimately, who's going to be able to make the plays? As we've got Lee now joining us. Lee, you are sort of our scoring expert, if you will, around the area. Lots, as we get further into these playoffs, there's less and less that we need to keep our eyes on. These games, there's fewer and fewer. Several locally that we need to be paying attention to that could have implications with our game. You've got a scoring update from several of those games.
That's right. The first game we've been kind of keeping an eye on is Walker Valley and Powell. The winner of that game will play the winner of this one. But Powell, who I guess is for some reason too good to play in the same region with Oak Ridge starting next year. Powell up 35-0. That game still in the second quarter. So looks like Powell's going to come away with that one. Looks like Powell's going to be advancing. A few other scores I've got here. Oliver Springs, our friends over in Oliver Springs, traveling on the road at Cloudland. Oliver Springs up 28-6 at the half. Knox Central traveling up to Daniel Boone at the half. Daniel Boone 10, Central 7. So low scoring ball game up in Northeast Tennessee. Gibbs without a stadium, traveling to Greenville this evening. Greenville all over Gibbs, 55-7. That game still in the second quarter. Farragut on the road at Science Hill. Science Hill at the half is leading Farragut 14-10. If anybody was concerned about Alcoa, they are winning 35-7 over Pigeon Forge. Across the county, Anderson County hosting Elizabethton tonight at the half. Anderson County 20, Elizabethton 7. And I'm going to get flack for mispronouncing this one. Unaka is taking on Coalfield. Coalfield leading at the half 14-12. Also at the half, Bearden on the road at Maryville. At the half, Maryville 14, Bearden 3. Morristown West taking on Knoxville West. That game is at Knoxville West. And Knoxville West is leading Morristown 48-0 that game's still in the second quarter. And the game, like I said, we've been focused on is Powell and Walker Valley. Powell leading 35-0. And I was asked by David what the Clinton score was. We can announce that Clinton is not playing this evening. David?
Lee, thank you for the scoring update. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout, and we will be back to McMinn County High School after this.
Welcome back once again to McMinn County High School. The Wildcats trailing by a score of 6-0. Now with our first half statistics, here's Mark Hayes.
Oak Ridge trails at the half, 6-0 to McMinn County. Look at the statistics. First for Oak Ridge, they're led on the ground by Jai Hunley. He has 24 yards on 6 carries. DeJovis Dozier has 13 yards on 6 carries. Brandon Hayward has 1 carry for 5 yards. Alamani Rimbert has 1 carry for -1 yard. And Ethan Garza has 1 carry for -9 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats have carried the ball 15 times, totaling 32 yards on the ground. That's an average of 2.1 yards per carry. Through the air, Oak Ridge quarterback Ethan Garza is 4 of 13 for 24 yards. He has 1 interception on the night. His long was 11 yards. That was caught by Connor Cummings. Connor Cummings has that 1 reception for 11 yards. Brandon Hayward, 1 reception for 6 yards. Jai Hunley, he has a 4-yard reception. And Elijah Rogers has a 3-yard reception. So as a team, the Wildcats on the ground, 32 yards on 15 carries, 24 yards on 4 receptions for a total offense tonight of 56 yards. Wildcats have earned 2 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized 5 times for 50 yards. Now looking at McMinn County, they're led on the ground by number 9, Jaden Miller. He has 55 yards on 8 carries. That's an average of 6.9 yards per carry. Cody Thompson has 4 carries for 7 yards. Caden Hester, quarterback, has 10 rushes for netting -12 yards. So as a team, McMinn County, the Cherokees, they have 22 carries for 50 yards on the ground. Through the air, Caden Hester, quarterback for the McMinn County Cherokees, he's 1 of 8 for 5 yards. That reception goes to Luke Hensley. So as a team, the Cherokees have 50 yards on the ground on 22 carries. They have 5 yards through the air on 1 reception for a total offense of 55 yards. Cherokees have 2 first downs in the ball game, 6 penalties for 45 yards. So looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 32, McMinn County 50. Receiving yards, Oak Ridge with 24, McMinn County 5. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 56. Total offensive yards, McMinn County 55. 2 first downs for each team. Penalties, Oak Ridge 5 penalties for 50 yards. McMinn County 6 penalties for 45 yards. Again, this is Marquez. We're at the half. Oak Ridge trails McMinn County 6-0, and we'll be back after this 3-minute timeout.
Welcome back to the Oak Ridge Prep Radio. This is Josh Frazier. We're here right before the half is about to end, and so far it's been a pretty tight game, pretty defensive. 3 and out seems to be the standard so far in this first half. A lot of good defense, one big play really by McMinn down there at the other end of the field to score a touchdown, blocked by Oak Ridge, but overall, really it seems like one big play can bust this thing wide open, and it's still anybody's game so far going into the second half.
Josh, you're new to the crew this year. You're going to school and doing broadcasting classes and such. And as a lover of sports, what have you seen? This is your first sort of road playoff game, falling Oak Ridge. You're not from Oak Ridge. How have the playoffs been so far? What sort of difference the atmospheres between a home game last week and here on the road at McMinn County where you've never been?
Oh, it's been a huge difference, Alex. At home, stands were quite full, quite loud. Everybody was ready to rock and roll, and a much different game, very offensive-minded game. Ended up winning that game 36-17, whereas this one, not so much. Pretty quiet in the stands on both sides. Not many big plays. Like I said earlier, a bunch of 3 and outs and punting from one side to the other.
A couple minutes before we end up half, and Josh, another thing I would ask you is as a sportsman, what does Oak Ridge need to do? Obviously, they got to cut out the turnovers, but offensively, what do you think the Wildcats need to do in order to be able to try to get some points on the board?
Well, I think first they need to go back to the run game. They seem to be getting quite a few yards when they hit them with the ground and pound. A lot of those deep passes have been overthrown by Ethan Garza. I don't know if it's just nerves, being in the second round of the playoffs, playing McMinn, who Oak Ridge lost to last year. But if they can get that offensive run game going, it can really start to open up the pass down the field and really blow this one open for them.
Thank you so much, Josh Frazier. Again, you're hearing from him. He usually is on the ground crew for us, filming highlights, and when you watch the replays, you are seeing a lot of his work. Brian, let's take a 2-minute timeout. I want to thank a couple people real quick. Michaela Adams, the Adams family back in Oak Ridge listening. Also, Aaron Wells, Lawrence Hahn, James Powers. Those guys watching back, we appreciate everyone watching from home. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, hopefully we'll have second half action here from McMinn County. Welcome back to McMinn County High School. Alex Myers being joined now by the voice of the Wildcats, David Clary. Before I let him talk, I want to say that Oak Ridge basketball is 4 days away from their opening game against York Institute, and we're making our plans to cover every game this season. As in the past, we will continue to have commercial sponsors on the radio, but we're also looking for individual game sponsors. Last season, many Oak Ridge fans sponsored as a memorial to a loved one for grandparents and other family members who can't attend the games or just to help us out. We are a nonprofit with a goal of continuing a long service to our community. Our group also tapes the games for the coaches, so we are totally committed to Oak Ridge basketball. The sponsor, one game is $150, such as a men's game or a women's game, or it's $250 to sponsor both. If you're interested, please contact David Clary at dccatvoice@aol.com. That's dccatvoice@aol.com. Or contact David Clary on Twitter, Facebook, or give him a call at 865-310-7207. We greatly appreciate all of your help, as well as all the help from great folks making this broadcast happen. David, you'll mention them in a moment. But as we start to transition from that basketball talk back to football, I want to give a shout out to a couple of youth league teams in Oak Ridge. Obviously, high school players don't just start, most of them, when they get to high school. They start at the boys club level, at middle school, things like that. A couple of games tomorrow at Central High School. It's the first annual YAC Championships. 7U versus Halls. Oak Ridge will be there. 11 a.m. Head coach Jalen Henderson is the coach on that one. And then 9U versus Powell at 2 p.m. Head coached by Jamin Booker. Hall of Famer James Mitchell and Edward Dunbar are on staff. Dunbar coached me back in the day. So again, 7U versus Halls at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And then 9U versus Powell at 2 p.m. Both games are at Central High School. David Clary, as we want to go ahead and thank some folks who have made this broadcast possible.
I'd like to thank Heather Hartman, 2 years in a row. Congratulations. Congratulations goes out to Heather Hartman for winning her school board election this week. She's helped us out with our stream, along with Teresa Ledden, a teacher at Oak Ridge High School. Tracy Larrabee, one of our longtime sponsors, Ben Pomey, helped us out. Former Wildcat as well. Grant Henry played and graduated around 2003, was on those teams that went to the semifinals. We appreciate him. And, of course, Dr. Garfield Adams as well.
Right.
And Ray Phillips helping us out here as well. We're just moments away from the second half. I believe the Wildcats will be kicking off.
Now, before we went to break, I don't know if you were in the building or if you had stepped out for a moment. I said, when we come back from break, hopefully we'll have football. And the reason I said that
here we go.
is because there was 2 minutes or so left on the clock, and I just had a gut feeling, as we are now 12 games into the season, and I think we're now 12 for 12, adding more time. Even though Oak Ridge's band didn't even perform at halftime, we still needed to add an extra 3 minutes. And there's my get off the lawn for the day. I'm not done. I'll probably have another one, David, but Oak Ridge's band didn't even play.
What do the Wildcats have to do here in the second half?
Well, they've got to move the football with consistency, and big plays are great, and obviously we're all rooting that Oak Ridge will have a big play here or there, but I think the commitment to just consistently moving the ball, it doesn't mean 20, 30-yard chunks at a time. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 yard gains, but you got to be able to stack those on top of each other. You can't have a 4 or 5 yard gain followed by 2 incompletions, or a 4 or 5 yard gain with a penalty afterwards. It's about stacking those positive plays on top of each other, and I think you got to get the ground game going. You got your best players on the team are your running backs, and you got to feed them here. Ride the horses, as we like to say.
Brennan Pearson to kick off for the Wildcats, and here it is. He hits it high, end over end kick. It's going to be backing up into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Both teams have had trouble driving the football in this game. Their scoring drive, a 4-play drive, which took almost 2 minutes off the clock, a 4-yard drive, took almost 2 minutes off the clock, and it's 6-0. And other than that, neither team really been able to drive. We have very few first downs. They have very few first downs.
And even that inside the 5-yard line, it took them 4 downs to score.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Cherokees, moving left to right here. Hand off to the running back, and he bounces to the outside, breaks a tackle, and goes down finally at the 29-yard line. The Wildcats had an opportunity right at the line of scrimmage for Sean Knowles, along with Terrence Anthony there on the stop.
Yeah, wow, 63. Their big right guard, I believe it was actually 53 with a really, really impressive strong block off the line to set that run up.
Second down, 3 yards to go for the Cherokees. Hand off to the back, and he's hit at the line again. Brian Kelly and company there to make the stop. It'll be third down and 1 yard to go, maybe two.
Deshaun Knowles with a violent end to that play kind of stood him up. And a
Oh,
lot
my
of times
gosh,
you'll
look at
see-
that spot. That spot. They give him right at the 30-yard line. That should be a first down. That was a terrible spot.
Wow. That's
There's no way.
that's
That's
pretty
like,
egregious.
well, maybe I didn't see it right. We'll go
I'm
with it.
with you.
First down, 10 yards to go. Don't want to trash the officials here. First down, 10 yards to go. Hand off to the back, and right up the middle he goes. And that could be a touchdown. Elijah Rogers trying to track him down. They do have an angle on him, and he is going to be tackled at the 10-yard line. Best run of the night, and Wildcats down 6-0, give up about a 60-yard run. Miller on the carry.
And I think McMinn County came out, 4 straight runs?
Right. And they'll have it first down, goal to go, the ball at the 8-yard line. The Wildcats already down 6-0. That one just a great run. And once he got in the secondary, he was gone.
Yeah, once he broke through the line, there was no really containment. I mean, he was just wide open spaces of green.
And that's one of the first big plays of the ball game that was not called back. It'll be first down, goal to go. Play clock is down to 10 seconds on the clock. 10:29 to play here in the third
This
quarter.
is going to be a pass, David. I don't think they've run the ball with 21 all night. He's in there at tailback.
And Hester is going to pass. He rolls to his right, looks to pass, cuts to the pylon once again. This time he's going to go down before the pylon. It'll be right at around the 2. I cannot believe that spot back there, but I don't see any flags down. It'll be for them. Second down, goal to go.
Yeah, it was a nice touchdown-saving tackle from 47 on the end there.
Tyler Pickens.
Tyler Pickens, thank you very much. As a little bit of a brain buster there for me, but a nice touchdown-saving tackle. It's second down and goal from the 1. They've got a power formation. This is probably a quarterback sneak coming up.
We're just right under center, right at the goal line. Hester is going to sneak the ball forward. The push goes forward into the end zone, and I believe that is a touchdown for McMinn County. So the Wildcats' work is cut out for them now. They haven't been able to get but maybe 2 or 3 first downs all night. Now they trail 12-0. Let's see if they go for 2.
I don't like chasing points when you don't have to in football games, and if I'm a coach, I'm kicking the field goal, and they're going to do the little thing that Oak Ridge does, which it looks like you're going to line up possibly to go for 2, and they are.
And the quarterback is going to be hit and dropped. It fumbled and picked up, and it'll be a 2-point conversion will fail. 12-0 our score. Back with the McMinn County Cherokee kickoff in 60 seconds.
He's hurt.
That was stupid. But this right here is not. They're trying to. I disagree.
Settles.
Welcome back to McMinn County. Here's the kick by the Cherokees. High end over end kick. It's going to be in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And the Wildcats will have it first down and 10 yards to go. The Wildcats have got to get their offense going. They're down 12-0. Haven't been able to really do anything. They've tried to pass the ball all night. I guess they saw something on tape, but whatever they saw, either we're not executing or it's just not there.
I actually think it's been there, but I think perhaps the wet conditions, I don't know if the ball being wet, maybe the receiver's not having quite the grip, maybe they're a half step slower. They've had guys open and behind the defensive backs, but they've not been able to connect. And regardless of whether it's there or not, if you're not able to execute it, then it doesn't really matter. And in Oak Ridge, what you can't do is panic right here. It's a 12-point game. 2 quarters left to play.
Yeah, a lot of football to be played here. Garza from the shotgun's going to hand it off to Jai. Here's the reverse once again. It worked before, and the Wildcats cutting across the 20, moving it up to the 25-yard line. The stop is made right at the 24-yard line. He cut back inside. That was Almani Rimmer. It worked in the first half. It got called back. I think they can get to the edges again against these guys.
They can. And they've just got to be able to get guys the ball in space. That time they did it, and you see the slick field. Almani wasn't really able to cut back as sharply and quickly as he usually could, but still I like the play call.
Receivers left and right. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The Wildcats going to fire a pass wide open. Good, might be a block in the back, but the receiver goes down shy of the first down. Right at around the 29-yard line. It is 3rd down and 1. Hopefully they won't go with a deep pass right here. It's 3rd down and 1. The ball at the 29-yard line.
That's really unfortunate. Brendan Hayward had a great block on the outside. The only problem is, and I'll give the defender credit for this, he just sort of dove as he was getting blocked and just barely made a shoestring tackle. If not, Amani's probably still running, and we got 6 points up on the board.
It was a great fake, too, because everybody was coming towards the near sideline here, and there was only one person out there to make the stop, and unfortunately, I think the field conditions. 3rd down and a yard to go. The Wildcats, Garza from the shotgun's going to hand it off, and the Wildcats are going to push to the 30, and that's enough for a first down. 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down right at the 30. They've already said move the chains. Let's talk about something here. The Wildcats, this is the first time all year the Wildcats have played on natural grass. They have practiced most of the season at the Blankenship field because the track wasn't ready. The practice field was not ready, and it just so happens it rained here. So they're playing on grass for the first time on the wet conditions. We'll come back and talk about that. 1st and 10 at the 30. Wildcats are going to run the ball. It must have been a busted play because Garza goes down the line of scrimmage. I guess he read something that wasn't there. He goes down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah. Actually, it's a really good point you brought up, and somehow I haven't even thought of that. But yeah, not only do they play on natural grass or on turf, artificial turf, and most of the teams in Knox County and around the area have turf at this point. But like you said, usually they at least practice on natural grass. This year that really hasn't been the case.
2nd down, 11 yards to go. They lost a yard. The ball's back at the 29-yard line. 7:52 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Wildcats down 12-0. The Wildcats only have 3 first downs the entire night. One of them was because of a penalty. Wildcats, Rembert comes in motion. He gets the handoff. Around the edge he goes. Cuts inside, moves the ball forward for a good game. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4, maybe 5 yards to go. And then there's something going on the far sideline. It'll be 3rd down facing the Wildcats. The ball is up to the 37-yard line. 3rd and about 5, it looks like.
And I love that call. Don't panic. You're behind the sticks. It's 2nd and long. Don't panic. Run the ball. Continue to get forward progress. You don't have to pick up all 11 on one play. You got 2 downs to play with, and now it's 3rd and 4, and guess what's still alive? The option to run the ball right here.
Wildcats have Jai Hunley in the backfield. The Wildcats have Will Presley, Almani Rimbert in the ball game. The Wildcats have Elijah Rogers and Brandon Hayward. Play clock down to 5 seconds. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, the snap, the handoff, the Wildcats move the ball for a first down and more, down the sideline to the 50, to the 45, no flags down, the Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go. That is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. What a great run.
People at home can't see what I just saw, but I'm laughing because as soon as he broke past the first down, I look back to my right and my peripheral. I can see you doing the same thing as you're calling the play. We're both looking backwards to say, is there a flag? Is there a marker on the field? And thank goodness there's not. And first down, Wildcats into enemy territory, 3 straight runs, and guess what? It worked. You dance with the girl that got you here, right? As the old saying goes.
Dozier and Hundley.
7 and 22 all year. I love what I just saw.
6:20 to play, 3rd quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. Guards is going to pass. Pass is going to be incomplete. Intended for Will Presley. It was low pass. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. 6:14 to play. Ethan Garza is the quarterback. Wildcats still without Elijah Israel on the line. He hurt his shoulder a few weeks ago, and I don't think I've seen 55 in the ballgame. Parker Searle has taken his spot. It's good to see Truett Tex out there for the Wildcats. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. 6 minutes, 14 seconds to play in somebody's season here, and the Wildcats are down 12-0.
They are. Ball marked on the far side of the field near Oak Ridge sideline. They got the short side of the field on the right. They got a lot of room down here, and only Brandon Hayward down here to the left.
Wildcats are going to run it. They've got running room across the 40, 35-30. Down the field, Jai Hunley, a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. And are they going to call another hold or a block in the back? He gets the ball all the way to the 20. Wildcats, anytime they've gotten the big play, it's been called back. And at this one, the only person around there is Brandon Hayward. He's pleading his case on the sideline.
I didn't see anything wrong with
I
what
saw
Brandon did.
nothing wrong. But let's see where they spot the ball. Official comes over to tell us it is holding against the Wildcats. The flag went down at around the 25.
No shot that's on Brandon. There's no way. Unless the official's looking back and throwing it on a lineman that's 10 yards.
Either way, they're going to step the yardage back from the spot of the foul, which is the 25-yard line. So it'll be a very manageable situation for the Wildcats. It'll be at the 35-yard line of the Cherokees. 6:03 to play, third quarter. 12-0 is our score. Connor Cummings splitting out to the right. Wildcats, second down. It's about 2 yards to go from the 35-yard line of the Cherokees. One lone running back, Jai Hunley. Elijah Rogers split to the left. Man comes in motion. That's Rimbert. Ethan to pass. Across the way, pass is caught. Connor down the field. Brian Kelly, 5. He's slung out of bounds at around the 3-yard line where it'll be first down, goal to go. And then a horse collar and a personal foul is going to be called against McMinn County. It's going to be half the distance to the goal. The Wildcats will have it first and goal at the 2.5-yard line.
Here comes that power formation for Oak Ridge. They're getting the beef in. As here comes big Tim Waters, three offensive linemen coming in for Oak Ridge. They're going to accept this penalty. It should line up to be first down and goal from about the 2-yard line or so. And to me, I don't care what the analytics, whoever wants to say, this is running. You're going to have to stop me 4 straight times running the ball with my running backs. There's no way Jai Hunley is going to be denied.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. 5:41 to play, third quarter. 12-0. Wildcats have it. First down, goal to go at the 2. Let's see if they have the right personnel. Elijah Rogers comes out of the game. He's not part of that jumbo package, I guess. Clock is moving, although I thought he went out of bounds. Clock is moving at 5.5 minutes to play. Wildcats, goal to go from the 2-yard line. Garza's going to hand it off. Touchdown, Oak Ridge! The Wildcats take it across. It'll be Oak Ridge's DeJalvis Dozier from 2 yards down. The Wildcats are on the board.
Love it. Love it. Probably not the smartest thing for the coaches to listen to us usually, but it's almost like at halftime they went, all right, they just agreed with everything we said. Well, just come out and run the ball. Don't panic, even though we're down by 2 scores now. But guess what? We're not anymore. And Oak Ridge has got a chance to make this a 5-point game or a 4-point game. If they go for 2, they're going to say, if the look's not there, Hayward signals the kicker back into the backfield, and Oak Ridge is going to try to make this a 5-point game.
Nehemiah Elmore to hold. David Wilson to attempt the extra point. 5:22 to play, third quarter. 12-6. The snap is high. The kick is up. It looks straight and true. It is good. Wilson splits the uprights. The Wildcats trail it 12-7. We'll be back with a kickoff in 60 seconds. Change the score. Does it? Yeah.
You're going to tell.
I think right.
What's the clock?
Harrison kicked off for the Wildcats. Salton and Miller backbeat for the Cherokees.
Here's the kick by Brennan Pearson. That's going to be a touchback, and the Wildcats will have it Back on defense here. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Cherokees. So the Wildcats answer their touchdown, and right now it's a 12-7 ball game, and the block kick and the going for two and not making it's made it a big deal right now.
It absolutely is. And again, you and I disagree on that, and that's okay. I don't chase the points there if I'm McMinn County. I go up by 6, and now it's down by 5. It's all for nothing if Oak Ridge scores and gets an extra point and makes it 14. But still, regardless, all of a sudden, that last drive, we start to hear the cowbells. The old school Oak Ridge fans with the cowbells, we start to hear that away crowd make some noise for really the first time all night.
Handoff goes to the running back trying to get outside. No place to go. Boom! He's popped right at the line of scrimmage. He's going to say helmet to helmet, I bet, because the Wildcats lowered their shoulder. If he calls that, that's ridiculous. He went down to tackle him, and he did hit him helmet to helmet, but not – he went down to tackle him. Let's see what they call. Official's going to come over to say what Brian Kelly wants to know. He's talking with the referee, and he's going to walk away. It's going to be holding against the Cherokees. It's a big, big call right there.
It is, and now you start to force this team into a situation pinned. They're going to be pinned about their 10-yard line, and this is a quarterback who really hasn't made mistakes thus far, but pressure starts to mount. You know your season's on the line here late in the third quarter. If you force him into a passing situation, don't be surprised if Oak Ridge doesn't try to jump a route.
From the 10-yard line, first down 20, handoff to the running back, and once again he busts through in the middle. This time he's going to be dropped down at around the 45-yard line. They had him, Brandon Hayward, a little bit slow to get up. Once again, straight up the gut. That's the second time. Of course, that's Miller once again, Jaden Miller, their tailback, and they got him out of bad field position.
Brandon Hayward's going to have to he's going to have to come off the field here, as Jaden Williams is going to have to come in and make a rare defensive appearance now. So now you've got to be on your P's and Q's if you're an Oak Ridge defensive back.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 44-yard line, 12-7, 4:21 to play. Handoff this time for nothing. They hit him, drop him, different running back in there. Caden Hesser's gone all the way at quarterback. They've had two really big plays. The Wildcats, thank goodness, they dropped him that time.
Or really 3 plays in the entire game. The punt block and those 2 runs, and that's literally the difference in the ball game right now. And it's just a shame, but hey, football's a brutal game sometimes, and you got to go where the breaks are.
2nd and 8, handoff to the running back again. This time no place. He's hit after about a half-a-yard gain. The Wildcats, a lot of white shirts to push him back. It'll be 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. And let's see Price Davis. Let's see if he's okay. He's slow to get up here. Let's see if Brian comes out to attend to him. No. Appreciate you listening to our broadcast. We appreciate you watching it if you're watching it on our YouTube stream. Appreciate Heather Hartman, Teresa Ledden, along with Tracy Larrabee, Dr. Garfield Adams, Ben Pomey, and Grant Henry for paying our rights fee. We had to pay $750 to the TSSAA to do the game on YouTube. And if we win this ball game, we'll do it again next week from what looks like Powell High School. Play clock is down to 7. They're going to snap it at 3:09 to play in the third quarter. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. Big play in the ball game. Hester to pass. He's being held. Fires a pass. It's going to be... Did he catch it? It's going to be short anyway. It's going to be 4th down and about 3 at midfield. Officially at the 49-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 3. There's no way. Surely they'll go for it on this one.
Well, they absolutely are, and there's no hesitation. The offense coordinator is signaling plays down here. I don't like this call one bit. You've got a great weapon in your punter. You could pin Oak Ridge back, force them to drive the field once again, which they've really struggled to do all night. Instead, they're going to look to the sideline. Now as the play clock starts to wind down, 20 seconds now, wouldn't be surprised if maybe we see a just try to draw Oak Ridge off sides here.
4th down, 4 yards to go. The ball at the 49-yard line of Oak Ridge. 2:23 to play. The Wildcats not moving, and they're going to just have to call one of their timeouts. In a game like this, you're going to waste a timeout right now. There's a wasted timeout right there. They're going to be penalized 5 yards, and that's a wasted timeout. I don't like that.
No,
I just go ahead and punt it. Drive. We've had trouble driving the football. Punt it. Go ahead and do it. You know you're going to do it. Put us back inside the 15-yard line.
And where I disagree, I mean, I'm with you. I would have just trotted the punt team out there. But if you're going to do that and try to draw Oak Ridge off, which it actually almost worked, one of Oak Ridge's defensive tackles nearly jumped. If you got a punter that's as skilled as theirs is with as strong of a leg, to me, how much is 5 yards right there? The ball's on the plus side of the 50 as it is, so he's probably not going to be able to uncork it and just totally give it all. Take the 5 yards, save your timeout. Your punter can make up that 5 yards.
Oak Ridge's all-time leading tackler, James Mitchell, listening to us tonight. And let's see, we also are being Todd Wright, the assistant head coach of the Lady Wildcats, listening to us. Speaking of basketball, we'll start basketball on Tuesday. Hopefully we have basketball on Tuesday, football on Friday. 2:14 to play, third quarter, 12-7, McMinn County on top of Oak Ridge. They're in punt formation. We have nobody back to receive the kick. Nobody back to receive the punt.
Full safe mode, watching against the fake. They try to fake earlier out of a timeout. I think Oak Ridge is preparing for exactly that.
I hear whistles blowing. Here's the punt. It's going to be a spiraling kick. Let's going to roll inside all the way to the 5-yard line, to the 3, to the 2. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I think you still need to send somebody back there because of that right there. Now we're backed up with our backs to the end zone.
I agree with you. Even if it's just a guy to put his heels on the 10 or 8-yard line and just say, hey, if it comes, if it bounces, just fair catch it, pick it up, fall down, something. But Oak Ridge has lost a lot of those hidden yards on punts. I mean, you look at each one of them. Maybe it's 5 yards here, maybe it's 8 yards there. But they probably lost 30 to 40 yards if you tally all the punts where the ball's rolled. And in a game that's as close as this one in yards that are as hard as to come by as they have been in this game, that's big.
McMinn County has won 7 consecutive games. They come in at 9-2 on the year. The Wildcats are going to start this drive at the 2-yard line, 98 yards to pay dirt here. 2:01 to play, third quarter, 12-7 our score. Garza is going to pass out of the end zone. Goes deep, passes there, passes incomplete. Good coverage again by McMinn County. And now it is 2nd and 10 at the 2-yard line.
Interesting call there. I don't hate it. I understand the idea. You've thrown it up, trying to give yourself a little space. They're definitely not expecting it. But give the defensive back credit. It was pretty good coverage. Jaden's probably the fastest guy on the team, but just couldn't complete it.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Now the Wildcats will run it, and they're going to get yardage up the middle. Gain of about 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 yards. It'll bring up third down and 5 yards to go. Let's see, maybe more than that. Third down. Yeah, it's going to be third down, 5 yards to go. Minute 39 and counting in the third quarter. Big play in the ballgame, I think. We need a first down desperately.
Yeah, this is has Oak Ridge thrown out of this formation? Sure, they just did, but probably 80%, 90% of the plays have been runs out of this formation. You've got the two-headed monster back there, running back. You need 4.
And here comes the handoff, and it's going to be up the middle. Now he bounces to the outside and is tackled at the 15-yard line, and that is a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. What a fine run by Jai Hundley.
Nice job of the offensive line, giving him a little space to breathe. They gave him the first couple of yards before he was touched, but he had a great individual effort to finish that. You know, they gave him the first couple, but he had to fight to get the last couple in order to move those chains, and he did just that. And we talked about it in the first half, how well Jai played. Boy, it'd be nice if we get another performance like last week. Statistically, maybe he's not quite there, but in this second half in particular, he has carried this Wildcat offense. 52
seconds and counting here in the third quarter. The Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 15-yard line. 12-7 is our score. Here comes the handoff once again. To 20, to the 25, to the 30, and out of bounds. And that is another 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. Carrying the ball that time for the Wildcats, number 22, Jarvis Dozier. And it's another 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Patience is a virtue in life. Impatience is a valuable skill set at the running back position. That time they take it off left side, and there wasn't a ton of room initially, but DeJavis almost kind of just squatted behind his lead blocker and just let things set up. He didn't sprint to the outside immediately. Once that block set up, space opened up, and he took it to the sideline. Nice patience and vision from DeJavis.
He must have gone out of bounds sooner than we thought, because the ball is put down at the 28-yard line. It's still a first down. Actually, it'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats, 37.6 seconds to play. Tyler Pickens is in at tight end. The Wildcats move there. And that's a big one. It's going to be a legal procedure against the Wildcats. New tight end there, Tyler Pickens. He's played some tight end. Of course, the backup tight end to Brian Kelly was Blake Steed, who went down earlier in the year with a knee injury. And Tyler Pickens has been moved there to play tight end. The Wildcats are going to substitute. It'll be now first down, 15 yards to go.
Yeah, interesting. We don't talk about Steed's absence maybe quite as much as we should. I mean, that's Oak Ridge's defense has been fine without him, but boy, that's a big loss. I mean, he's a heart and soul guy, and he's a guy that adds so much to this team.
36 seconds to play third quarter. Garza to pass, rolls to his right, dumps it back. Here it goes. The Wildcats have running room. 30, 35, to the 40, to the 45-yard line. The Jarvis Dozier, first down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. Great little play there by the Wildcats.
Love the saying when it comes tournament time in basketball, you've got a stud on your team, you ride the horse, right? You don't worry about resting him. You don't worry about next game. You ride that horse till the wheels fall off, and that's what Oak Ridge has done in this second half with their 2 stud running backs, the best, most productive players on this offense this year, and they're not wasting it. They're not worried about next week right now. Each and every time they get the ball, they're showing them why they do that.
And they've quit going between the tackles, too, there, Alex Myers. They're hitting the outside.
They are.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, 27.9 seconds to play. The ball's at the Oak Ridge 45-yard line. This drive started at the 2. Brian Kelly back in at tight end. There's movement again. He jumped across once again. We're going to be penalized 5 yards.
Yeah, you had 2 men in motion. You have Brian Kelly at that H-back, sort of hybrid tie-back, tight end fullback position. You had him moving right to left. And then as he did that, DeJavis needs to wait on him to stop before he starts creeping up towards the line of scrimmage. They didn't. They were both in motion at the same time. As a 5-yard penalty.
Lee Wexler doing camera work for us today. Matthew Charles, Josh Frazier, Drew Thomas, Mark and Shauna Haster here. And we've got Gavin as well, as a new guy from the broadcasting class. We appreciate him joining us here. 27.4 seconds, first and 15. The Wildcats need to get to the 46-yard line of McMinn County for a first. The Wildcats are going to run it again. Not much is running room there as Brian Kelly continues to block. It's going to be up to the 43, and that could be and probably is the final play of the third quarter. The Wildcats are down 12-7. We're on YouTube. We're on FM 92.7. We're going to take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter in 60 seconds.
Yeah. I saw you do it last week when I adjusted it. Remember what button you had to click. Yeah, it's you got to hold something down.
David Clary back here at McMinn County High School. The Wildcats down 12-7. The winner to play, it appears to be the Powell Panthers on Friday. They were way up on Walker Valley. The Wildcats trying to advance to the third round for the first time since 2020 as the Wildcats have it second down and 12 yards to go. It'll be Oak Ridge's Ethan Garza. The Wildcats now moving left to right. Garza's going to hand it off right side. Good running room to the 45. He breaks a tackle, moves the ball, drives forward to the 49 where it'll be third down and about 5 yards to go. DeJavis Dozier tried to get to that corner, couldn't quite get to it. It's a gain on the play. It'll bring up third down, and it looks like it's going to be longer than I thought. Third down and about 7 yards to go. Ball's just shy of midfield right at the 49-yard line. Winner to play on. The loser is done. 12-7 our score. Ethan Garza and the Wildcats need 7 yards. The Wildcats are down 12-7. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Wildcats 1 lone running back. Garza to pass. Across the way. Pass is going to be intercepted. Picked off on a deflection. And down the sideline they go. Tackle is finally made right at the 25-yard line. And then there's a fumble, and the Wildcats say they've recovered. Then the flag goes down. And I'm not exactly sure. I can't see through the glass here.
Well, there was a fumble at the end of the play. Everyone on the Oak Ridge sideline in white, including the coaches, started jumping immediately because they stripped it from behind. But then, emphatically, the official at the spot signaled it's still McMinn County's ball, and then there was a flag that came in just before some almost taunting from McMinn County towards the Oak Ridge sideline. So I don't know what the call is, who is going to be on but I thought it was a fumble. Certainly the Oak Ridge sideline thought it was a fumble, but unfortunately there's no review in high school, and the ruling on the field was that he was down.
But they are talking about it. They did at least talk about it. It is Oak Ridge's ball. Wildcats, I think, are going to get the ball. Just by the initial signal, Wildcats have got to get their players off the field. The Wildcats are well onto the field there with a good group of players. That's unacceptable. They've got to get them off the field or we're going to be penalized here. And they are going to come off to the sideline. It is going to be Oak Ridge's ball. So the Wildcats get the ball back. I don't know if you saw what happened. I know you were tracking down a penalty.
And they're going to call it offsetting. So fortunately for both teams, it doesn't hurt either one.
What happened on the play, the ball was hit and tipped by Brian Kelly. It was a little bit behind him, and he couldn't quite hold on to it, and it was picked off. I didn't know if you saw it.
It was picked off, but then it was a great effort not giving up on the play. Initially, I saw Brandon Hayward tracking the carrier down and trying to strip from behind. I don't know if it was him or the guy who actually made the tackle, which was Jai Hunley, who ended up stripping the ball. Regardless, fantastic effort from the Wildcats, not letting one mistake turn into another.
11:07 to play in the ball game. 12-7 the score. The Wildcats will have it 1st and 10 at the 25.
What do you say? Let's run the ball, David.
Yeah, we'll see here. Play, getting the chains put down nicely here. Wildcats, Ethan Garza has Dozier in the backfield. The Wildcats, 2 receivers to his left, 2 to the right. Wildcats don't have a tight end in. First down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes up the middle, big hole. First down and more across the 40 to the 45 to the 50. Down the field, the Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats just barreling across midfield. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
They've got no answer. They just have no answer for this run game right now of Oak Ridge. And you mentioned it. They stopped going up the middle, started going outside, but now they've started going back up the middle again once they've got that defense sort of guessing a little bit. And let's credit this offensive line. These running backs have done a really good job, but there's been some space, especially here in the second half. Really nice job up front.
Ball officially at the 50-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 12-7, the Wildcats trailing. Almani comes in motion. He gets the handoff. 45-yard line. Pushed out of bounds at around the 41 of McMinn County, maybe the 42. Clock still moving. I guess he did not go out of bounds, although he went out of bounds. 10 minutes, 24 seconds to play. It's a gain on the play of 6. Second down, then a long 4.
And the line's done a nice job blocking, but that time it was a wideout. It was Elijah Rogers. Usually we're used to him making plays in the passing game and the special teams game. Tonight he's been kind of quiet, but what he has not done is lacked effort on blocking. That time, that's probably a 2 or 3 yard gain if he misses that block. Instead, it turns into a 5-yard gain and sets Oak Ridge up with a nice second down.
10 minutes to play in the ball game. 12-7 our score. Second down, 4.5 yards to go. Man comes in motion again. Handoff goes Dozier. This time, not much. And whatever, the coaches didn't like that, as you can hear them stomping. Well, you probably can't hear them, but I can hear them stomping right above us.
We can actually feel them stomp.
Yes, very true. No gain on the play. It'll be third down, 5 yards to go. 12-7 our score. Wildcats have the ball at the McMinn County 43-yard line, moving left to right, wearing their all-white jerseys, Cardinal numerals, Cardinal pants. McMinn County in their black pants, their black jerseys, and gold numerals. Third down, we'll call it 3.5 yards to go for a first. Ethan Garza, quarterback. Time to pass, fires the pass. It's complete for a first down. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down, and Rogers breaks the tackle and moves the ball to the 30. First down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats, nice play, nice catch. Elijah Rogers, the senior, nice throw by Ethan. Just in the flats, wide open, 1st and 10.
Yeah, they took what the defense gave them, and so often in high school, even in college at times, if you need 4 yards, you see receivers run to the 4-yard, then come back, and when they catch it, they've only got 3. That time, Elijah ran 5 yards, so when he came back, he still had the first down when he caught that ball. Great extra effort, got him some extra yards.
From the 31-yard line, handoff up the middle once again. Big hole, down the field, 5, 4, touchdown Oak Ridge! No flags down, the Wildcats of Oak Ridge! With 8 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the ball game, have a touchdown, and Oak Ridge right now takes the lead, 13-12.
Through the defense, past the defense, over the defense, it doesn't matter. 22 was not going to be stopped. Great hole up front, but that second and third effort, once he got to the second level, the linebackers, the defensive backs What a play. What a second half on the ground. This is old school football. This is Oak Ridge football right now.
8 minutes, 50 seconds to play, and the Wildcats will go for the extra point. The long snapper is Price Palmer. Nehemiah Elmore will hold it. David Wilson to attempt. 13-12, Oak Ridge on top. 8:50 to play, 13 unanswered points for the Wildcats. The snap is good. The hold, the kick is on its way. It's up, and it's a fake. The Wildcats, Jai Hunley, 3-2 to the goal line. He'll not make it. Wildcats went for the fake. Didn't get it. They lead by 1, and that's okay. They're still ahead. 13-12 our score. We'll be back with a kickoff in 60 seconds.
Now can I tell you why you don't chase points?
I wouldn't have.
What I'm talking about.
This is live. Yeah, they hear it almost like we're talking like this.
I get it. Oak Ridge don't chase points. If it was 13-13, Oak Ridge doesn't call that fake. But now give Oak Ridge the opportunity where they can.
Let's concentrate on the offensive line. Discuss football politics. We got to win this game. We're on YouTube here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Oak Ridge has the lead, 13-12 the score, 8:50 to play in the ball game. Brennan Pearson to kick off. Oh boy, he got into this one. It goes sailing almost out of the end zone. Great drive for the Wildcats. They got a little help, obviously. They threw an interception, then they stripped the ball away, and then they come down the field and they score. Big play, and as you said, on the ground doing it for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they really did. And, it starts up front with this great individual effort by the Wildcats. But some of those offensive linemen, Truett Tex, Parker Searle, Jermaine Blair, Austin Hill, Mal Cody up there as well. Several Wildcats that they've subbed in and out, paving the way for this offensive rushing attack.
From the 20-yard line, handoff to the running back, and he's hit by Vashawn Knowles and one other Wildcat. No gain on the play. Second down, 10 yards to go. They have the ability to throw the ball. He has looked like he's pretty capable of throwing the ball. And, of course, they've had the big runs up the middle. The Wildcats have got to shore that up, make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, they do. And that's the thing with just being a one-point game, 8.5 minutes, you don't have to throw the ball, even if clearly McMinn County wants to run the ball. They've opened it up at times, but really not tried to stretch the defense too often. But they really don't have to at this point. But if Oak Ridge keeps...
They're going to drop back to pass. And pass is going to be caught in the flats, up the sideline, pushed out of bounds by the Wildcats. Stop is made by Terrence Anthony up at the 30-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 yards to go. They needed to get to the 30. I think that's where he went out of bounds.
And I thought, just as you did, that Bashawn Knowles and his 6'3", long-armed frame, I thought he was going to be able to tip that ball. He jumped up with his right hand, almost like a basketball player going up for an alley-oop, tried to get his fingertips on that pass, but a nice touch pass from the quarterback there.
Did you tweet that? First and 10 at the 10-yard line. Nothing up the middle there. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. Some grumbling from the McMinn County fans down here in front of us. 8 minutes and counting in the ball game. No gain on the play. Second down, 10 yards to go. Waters, Bradley, around the play there. Second down, 10. Caleb Hester at quarterback. Oak Ridge on top, 13-12, 7:45 and counting in the ball game. If you remember last year's ball game, the Wildcats ended at around the 3-yard line when the Wildcat quarterback went down as the time expired. The Wildcats need a big stop on defense. Second down, 10 yards to go. Hester to pass. Pressured across the way, batted away. Nice play by Brian Kelly. Great play, got his hand on it, deflected it away from the receiver. It is third down, 10 yards to go.
And it's a great play, not only because it was incomplete, but it truly forced the incompletion. Because if he didn't get his hand up there and deflect that, the receiver was there and he was up near first down yardage.
Ball is at the McMinn County 30. Big play in the ball game. Third down, 10 yards to go. 7 minutes, 29 seconds to play in the ball game. 13-12. The Wildcats in the lead. Caden Hester at quarterback, lone running back, back to pass. Fires a pass. Incomplete. It's fourth down. Fourth down. Pass was behind the receiver, and it's fourth down and 10 yards to go. Big stop for the Oak Ridge defense.
And they tried to get it to Smith, who was coming over across to the wide side of the field, moving left to right. And the problem was he was running right into the coverage where Brian Kelly was helping out from that linebacker position. So the only place where the quarterback could have placed that was to the near side of the field, and because of that, he had to throw it behind him, and it's just too slick. He could not make that cut and turn around and try to catch it in time.
And the Wildcats will still not send anybody back to receive the punt. And here's the punt by the Cherokees. He hits it high, not quite as long. In fact, it's going to go out of bounds at around the 31-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. 13-12 is our score. 7:16 to play. The Wildcats have been doing a good job on the ground. It'd be great to have a great time-consuming drive right here.
Yeah, 4 or 5 minute drive, eat up a bunch of clock, go down and get some points. It would be just what the doctor ordered.
7 minutes, 16 seconds to play. The winner to take on, it looks like, the Powell Panthers at Powell High School next year. The bracket, I know people keep asking me, and we've talked about this earlier in the broadcast. The bracket says that we would be at home, but that's not the case because Powell won the region. We finished second. They'll always be at home. If the Wildcats could prevail next week, if they win this ball game, a lot of time to go in this one, they would be home in the fourth round. But we got a lot of work to do in this one, and a lot of work to do next week, obviously. Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go. Low snap, handoff, good running room. 35. He runs out of bounds though. Flag went down. Do we have another hold? The only people over there were Brandon Hayward, and Brian Kelly.
It's what it's got to be. There's only 2 Wildcats in the air. Hundley was running right towards those 2 blockers, and that's exactly what it's going to be. Holding. Brian Kelly, captain for this Wildcat team, having a discussion with the official, didn't seem to argue it too much. I didn't see it, but Oak Ridge not giving too much of an argument. And actually, not the worst case in the world because getting ready to be second long, didn't gain a ton on that. Obviously, you don't want that call, but at a certain point, you start thinking if you're Oak Ridge, at least try to stay in bounds on these runs.
Right. 7:07 to play in the ball game. First down, 20 yards to go. 13-12. The Wildcats in the lead. We can see, they trust their kickers, so Wildcats need a nice long drive right here. Garza at quarterback. He's going to pass. Fires a pass, incomplete. Elijah Rogers. Now it's second down, 20 yards to go. Just misfired in the flat there to Elijah.
I'll tell you what, I love Elijah's body language throughout the year. You know, he's not a perfect player. He's made mistakes at times, and he's made a lot of great plays. But right there, he points to the quarterback. I guess Garza was a little bit frustrated. Before he gets a chance to really get down on himself, he points and says, thumbs up, says calm down, does the thumbs up sign again. He's just a very calming presence out there for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 2nd and 20. Handoff goes to running back, and there's nothing there. I think if he cuts outside, he's got it. I mean, there was nobody over here. Will Presley was the only guy over here in one black shirt. Now it's third down and about 18 yards to go. So the Wildcats need to get all the way up to the 41-yard line. 6:44 to play. Wildcats abandoned the run on that first down. The Wildcats were moving the ball so effectively on the ground. Of course, that penalty hurt them. Penalties have hurt us all night. I actually think you go to the air right here. Obviously, that's easy for me to say 3rd and 17, but you start to think, hey, if you're going to give the McMinn County Cherokees the ball back with under 6 minutes to play in short field, you at least want to give yourself some time to maybe have an opportunity to go and answer if you can't get a stop. Oak Ridge winding this play clock all the way down to 2, and now they're going to use their first time out.
Wildcat basketball season will begin this coming Tuesday as they take on the York Institute.
They do indeed. As in past years, we will have commercial sponsors, but we also, on the radio, are looking for individual game sponsors. Last season, many Oak Ridge fans sponsored a memorial to a loved one for grandparents or other family members who couldn't attend the games or just to help us out. We are a nonprofit with the goal of continuing a long service to our community. Our crew here at Prep Radio also tapes the games for coaches, so we're completely and totally committed to Oak Ridge basketball. To sponsor one game, it's $150, such as a men's game or a women's game, or it's $250 to sponsor both. If you're interested, please contact us at dccatvoice, that's dccatvoice at AOL.com, or contact David Clary on Twitter or Facebook, or even give him a call, 865-310-7207. We greatly appreciate your help.
It would have been great if we had that 2-point conversion, making it a 3-point ball game. But Wildcats need a big play. They need to get it up to the 41-yard line. They'll split Elijah Rogers to the right along with Brandon Hayward. Wildcats have Jai Hunley on the right side, one lone man to the left. Third down, 17 yards to go. The Wildcats up 13-12. Garza to pass. Franks it down the way. Pass is going to be caught on the dead run up the field. First down, Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge has a first down. What a great play. Out of bounds he goes at the 43-yard line. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down.
That was a beautiful call. The timing, everything. You had to have good blocking and protection up front because it took that play a little bit longer to develop. The wideouts went deep, cleared out the defensive backfield, and it was Javis Dozier all alone. He had one man to beat for the first down, and his speed allowed him to get there. Great play, great execution. What a call.
6:05 to play in the ballgame. 13-12. The Wildcats in the lead. Wildcats overcome that holding penalty. 6:05 to play, leading 13-12. Ethan Garza, junior quarterback for the Wildcats, is going to hand it up the middle. 45 up to the 47-yard line. Milk the clock. They will reset the clock at 40 seconds. Ethan needs to take as much time as he can off the clock.
You're totally right. I don't really have much to say right there because that's exactly what you do, and it's second and long. But, hey, to me, I'm giving it right back to 7 or 22 and saying, boys, you got 5 minutes. Give me everything you got. We can rest on the bus. We can rest tomorrow watching film. Give me everything you got for the last 5.5 minutes.
5:32 and counting. Second down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 46-yard line. Slot man to the left. Receivers left and right. Wildcats Garza is going to pitch to his tailback. He moves the ball to the 50, and he has another 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down as he moves the ball into McMinn County territory. It's 1st and 10. Wildcats at the 45-yard line. 5 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the ballgame.
We've seen Dozier run around. We've seen him run through defenders. That time, he ran over top of them. As a matter of fact, he jumped over them as he hurdled the only defender between him and the first down marker. Only complaint is that he went out of bounds. But other than that, a perfect play right there. Nice timing on the pitch as well. You got to think about it. If you're the quarterback, you pitch that ball too early, the play doesn't develop because you've got to make that backer or that defensive end commit to following you and not the running back. Nice execution.
13-12, the Wildcats in the lead. 1st and 10 at the Cherokee 45-yard line. Low snap, hand off to the running back. Wildcats straight up the gut. Gain of about 2. Clock moving. Jai Hunley on the carry. 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the ballgame.
I should do my homework and shouldn't ask you this on the air. It's not very professional, but I want to give a shout out to a guy who's been hurt a lot of the year. 68. I don't have him on the roster in front of me, but Oak Ridge, the offensive lineman, I think out of Jefferson, he's been hurt and sidelined a lot of the year. He's played really well tonight at right tackle.
And up to the line they'll come once again, the Wildcats. Second down, 8 yards to go. Elijah Rogers split to the right. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to play. Wildcats up 13-12. Almani Rimbert comes in motion. He gets the handoff and he slips. May just cut and went down. And then a flag went down after he went down on the Oak Ridge sideline.
And that'll be interesting if they're going to call that a holding if the flag came out after the play was over.
Well, let's see here. The official comes over. It is going to be holding against the Wildcats. Let's see if they actually take it, or is it a face mask? What is he signaling? He is, yeah. So they are going to step the yardage off, holding against the Wildcats. It would be 3rd and 8 if they elect not to. The Wildcats picked up a 17-yard completion earlier. They are going to step the yardage back, and holding, it's hard to overcome those, typically, especially in high school.
I'm with you. I was actually thinking, do you just decline that and force a long 3rd down? But I think because of the position on the field, Oak Ridge wasn't in a position to where they were in a position where they would probably go for it if they picked up a few more yards. So I think because of the fact that you would have had to stop Oak Ridge's running game twice with 8 yards, I think that's why they elected to accept the penalty.
4:27 to play in the ballgame. 13-12. The Wildcats now have it second down, 18 yards to go. Garza is going to hand it off to the running back outside, cuts across to the 50. Not much more than that. He gained about 4. It'll be 3rd down and about 14 yards to go. Jai Hunley on the carry for the Wildcats. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to play in the ballgame. 13-12. It's coming down just like last year's ballgame. Came down to the final play.
Yeah, let's hope we're on the other end. Last year, McMinn County was up late, and a late effort from a late drive from McMinn County, or a late drive from the Wildcats trailing came up short. Now Oak Ridge has got the lead late, under 4 minutes now, 3:50 and counting. We hope Oak Ridge can flip the script here and keep and keep this lead on the board.
From the McMinn County Cherokee,
3 seconds.
3 seconds on the play clock. 2, 1. Got to snap it. He does not, or do I think we got to call a timeout? Yeah, Coach Cummings called a timeout on the sideline. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to play in somebody's season. The winner will play, I believe, the Powell Panthers, who are way up on Walker Valley, 35-0. This Cherokee team has won 7 straight games. They are 9-2 on the year. And it's going to come right down to it. The Wildcats, if they can pick up 14 yards, I'll feel pretty good about it. But the Wildcats are down to 1 timeout. McMinn County still has 2. Wildcats were defeated last year here on this field in the first round of the playoffs. The Wildcats trying to advance to the 3rd round for the first time since 2020.
And Powell, it is final. 5-Star Preps tweeting out a little bit ago. Powell wins 48-0, and so over Walker Valley, and so it is a final there. So Powell's taking care of their part side of the equation. Now, if Oak Ridge can just do the same, we'll have a rematch from a region game that Oak Ridge certainly would like to have back from earlier in the season. But this one's got a long way to go.
I don't want to be pessimistic. I just remember we need a first down here. We have 1 punt blocked already today. If we have to punt, that certainly comes into the equation. 3:36 to play in the game. 3rd down, 14 yards to go. The ball at the 49-yard line of McMinn County. This whole place is shaking. Garza's going to pass, or he's going to run. He's going to look. He throws it. Passes there. He's caught. First down, Oak Ridge. Elijah Rogers inside the 15-yard line. The Wildcats will have it. First down, 10 yards to go. A beautiful pass by Ethan Garza. A great catch by Elijah Rogers, and the Wildcats pick up those yards, and the Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go.
What can I say? Ethan Garza wasn't really expected to be the guy, quote unquote, coming into this season. He filled in for an injured Peyton Sharp, and he's never looked back. And again, we said it earlier on a play, does such a great job moving the pocket, moving around with his feet, keeping plays alive, but it's so rare for a guy his age to be able to keep his eyes downfield and not just totally commit to taking off when he gets under duress.
3 minutes to play in the ball game. 13-12 Oak Ridge. Here comes Garza handing it off to Hundley. Hundley moves the ball and for a gain of about 5 or 6. The important thing is the clock will move here, and Coach Bo Cagle will call a timeout. The Wildcats have lost their last 2 ball games to the McMinn County Cherokees. Down here, the Wildcats trying to advance and win their 7th game of the year. McMinn County trying to win their 10th game of the year. They're 9-2. 2:49 to play in the ball game. What a run right there. It is 2nd down and 2. You love those big plays on first down.
Yeah. And now you got a ton of options. It may not come into effect. It rarely does when there's this little space. But Oak Ridge has got 2nd and 2. But the important thing to remember if you're watching or listening from home, they need 3 yards to score. So technically, Oak Ridge could move the chains and get a first down, sort of reset the chains and continue to bleed this clock. Now, obviously, you're really not worried about that. What you're worried about is moving the ball forward. But again, if you get a first down and it takes you 2 or 3 plays to get a first down, it's not the worst thing in the world because, again, just chew that clock.
Think about those 2 big plays on this drive. You had the 3rd and very long, and Jai Hundley picks up it, and then right there you got 3rd and very long, and they pass to Elijah Rogers. The Wildcats have the ball officially right at the, looks like the 8-yard line, I guess. I can't really tell actually where
It's at the 4.
Actually, it's at the 3-yard line. Here's the handoff left side. Jai Hundley cuts back inside and goes to the end zone. Does he score?
Oh, that's the perfect spot.
No signal.
That's the perfect
It'll be
spot.
a first down. Let me talk here, Alex. It'll be a first down, goal to go for the Wildcats. The snap was fumbled initially. He tried to pick it up, and the Wildcats have it. First down, a goal to go at the 2-yard line. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to play in somebody's season, Alex Myers.
Now here's what's going on through my wacko mind, and it's probably not the smartest thing to even utter this. McMinn County, I think, just used their last time out. No, they have 1 left. Clock stops. If you're Oak Ridge, do you run 24 seconds off of this clock and take a knee and force them to use that last one?
No, we need a touchdown.
But they can't win the game as is anyway. Just
touchdown. Take it in for a score. The Wildcats fumble the snap at the line of scrimmage. And whose ball is it? No signal. McMinn County not celebrating. Oak Ridge not celebrating. It was a fumbled snap, and it will be McMinn County's ball. McMinn County's ball there. The Wildcats don't. They left them the door open here. 2:02 to play here, and they're starting this drive at the 1 yard line.
Oak Ridge has got to be careful. Is they're arguing, but there's nothing to argue. I mean, they came out of there with it, and it's McMinn County's ball. So our discussion was totally irrelevant because you neither scored. You turned the ball over. And what's interesting with this wet field with the wet ball, that wasn't the first one. The play before that, also they fumbled the snap.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 1 yard line. 2:02 to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top, 13-12. So what a momentum shift there. The Wildcats going in for a score. Hester running the offense from his own end zone. High snap. Hand off to the back, and there's nothing there. Tick. The time will start ticking down. 1:55 to play. Lee wanted me to say something, Alex, a minute ago. The camera was jumping up and down. It wasn't him. It was the stands moving here.
We can feel it up here in the press box, and it's not exactly the closest to the ground press box. We're quite a ways up here. It'll scare you when it starts shaking.
1:37 to play. Second down, 7 yards to go. Hester to pass. Rolling. Has running room. Cuts down the sideline. He's got a first down. Runs out of bounds at around the 12 yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. 1:23 to play. In the ball game, Oak Ridge on top, 13-12. There might have been a flag.
I think there is, right at the 17-yard line. There's an official standing, and it looks like something yellow. It's very hard to see from this angle, but there is indeed a flag, and it looks like it's going to be against the Wildcats. The McMinn County Cherokees are pointing that direction.
Tyler Pickens talking with the officials. I didn't, honestly, from where I'm sitting, I can't see, to be honest with you. I'm looking through a glass that's dirty, and I couldn't see, but it is going to be a penalty against the Wildcats. What was the call?
I couldn't see either, and I'm not sure. It was something away from the ball, I think, because I didn't see anything near the quarterback that was malicious.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line, 1:23 to play in the ball game. Here comes Hester. A little screen pass is going to be caught. The Wildcats drop him, though, at the 25. Nicely read by Brian Kelly. 1:20 and counting. And he goes down at the play, and that's going to stop the clock. Is this Ole Miss?
I think he's
okay.
Yeah, he's immediately hopped. I don't know. It's tough.
It'll be a gain of 2 on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go. Ball's at the 25. The clock should be moving, and it is now. Second down, 8 yards to go. 13-12 the score. The Wildcats in the lead. Caden Hester at quarterback. Receivers left and right. Hester to pass, rolls to his right, looks to run, wants to dump it in the flats. The pass is caught. Big stick on the sideline, and you can't celebrate. You'll get a penalty. Just go back to the huddle. A minute to play here in the ball game. The ball is up to the 35-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 35. The clock is moving. 57 seconds to play. The chains are stretched. 4-man front for the Wildcats. First down, 10 yards to go at the McMinn County 35. Hester rolls to his right, looks to run, might pass, dumps the pass in the flat once again. Wildcats have got to defend them a little closer in the flats. They've got a great kicker here. Wildcats have got to defend the flats there. Bryce Davis gets up a little slow. 43.4 seconds to play.
You're right. I mean, Dinkin and Duncan, the McMinn County fans below us aren't happy that they're doing that, but the reality is they don't have to go all the way down the field.
Second down, 4 yards to go. The ball at the McMinn County 44-yard line, 43.4 seconds. The Wildcats up 13-12, had it at the 1 yard line, fumbled it, and McMinn County trying to get a winning pass is going to be caught, and then the tackle is made. Elijah Rogers grabbed him up high. It might be a horse collar tackle, and that's going to give him a first down and across midfield.
I don't like that. It was a high tackle, but I think they're going to call a face mask, and that's not a face mask.
And
horse collar, maybe.
They are talking about it, though. It is a discussion. It is going to be personal foul against the Wildcats, so it is indeed face mask.
No.
Either way, it's the call. 38.6 seconds, so they're going to step the yardage off here. It's going to go across midfield. Wow. Wildcats, they have the ball now at the 44-yard line of Oak Ridge. 2 big penalties on this drive. 38 seconds to play in the ball game. 13-12. The Wildcats in the lead. Hester with the man coming in motion, back to pass. All day, fires a pass to the flats, complete again. You've got to shore it up. Terrence Anthony there on the stop. They are about to be in field goal range if they aren't already. The Wildcats have got to kind of stop these short passes. There's still 30 seconds to play. Second down and a yard to go. Wildcats playing a little tighter coverage here. The ball is at the 35-yard line and play is halted and a timeout is asked for. The McMinn County fans going crazy here. Wow, to see this game and the momentum shift in it. We had the ball at the 1-yard line going in for a touchdown perhaps to kind of put it out of reach. A fumble on the play, and they have driven the ball down the field. We've helped them with 2 big penalties.
We have, and the biggest thing is you look up, not only is there still 30 seconds, they're probably realistically about 5 to 7 yards from being in field goal range, and most importantly for them, they still got a timeout. So they've done a nice job of managing the clock, and give them credit for that. Like you said, Oak Ridge's defense has come up so big so many times in these type of spots all year. Boy, it'd be nice for them to come up big one more time. A sack, something negative. It doesn't have to be a turnover, but just something to force them out of their comfort zone. Use that timeout. It would be huge right here on 2nd and 1.
Yeah, we haven't really been able to get to him. Here they come, second down, a yard to go. 30.1 second to play here. 2nd and 1, 13-12, the Wildcats in the lead. Caden Hester looks over to the sideline. Once again, 1 lone running back, 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 4-man front, Hester from the shotgun. Snap. Hand off to the back, and he's tackled, but that is a first down.
Yeah, Oak Ridge was pointing, and I think they're right. The running back was falling forward before that ball was snapped. It should have been a false start.
19 seconds to play. The clock is ticking down. 1st and 10, and they spike it right at the 34-yard line. That stops the clock, although it didn't. It's about 14 seconds. They ticked off about 3 or 4 seconds. The clock keeper is going to have to change it, but if he puts about 20 on it, that'll be well.
You're right. It was about 3 seconds, and that was a long 3 seconds if you're a Cherokee fan. This officiating crew, I trust them. They got it straightened out when it happened in the first half against Oak Ridge, and I trust they'll do the same here as they're discussing next to the home sideline here.
Well, it can't be any more than 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Agreed.
If they put about 20 seconds on the clock, that would be egregious. Is that the right word? 11.6 is on the clock now.
I think he hosted a game show.
Filburn,
I think there's
Filburn.
a G in there, David.
Bo Cagle still arguing his point with the official here. And I don't know that he's going to get any more time on the clock.
I mean, this is not up for debate. I don't know what they're talking about.
The clock ticked off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious.
But I mean, there's nothing to have discussion about. You look up and you say, here's the time, here's what we're putting. There's nothing to argue about. This is not an opinion situation. The time is on the clock. We'll put it back on. I don't know why.
But it doesn't look like they're going to put time on the clock. That's what I'm saying, Alex. I don't think they're going to put time on the clock. That's why Coach Cagle is so mad. There's 11.6 seconds. It should be about 15 or so.
Regardless, they're getting to huddle and talk about their next offensive play. So essentially, they're kind of getting a free timeout right here, and that's not going to be talked about. They're putting 6 seconds or 16 seconds. Regardless, I think that's a little much. I think they're saying 16 seconds.
They're not putting any time on the clock here. It's 11.6 seconds. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is 15. At 15 seconds. Okay, that's
probably about
correct.
right.
That's correct. Ball is at the Oak Ridge 34-yard line. 2 receivers to the left. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats need a sack big time right here.
So we got 1 timeout, does McMinn County.
Wildcats have everybody up on the line. Caden Hester from the Oak Ridge 34. Wildcats need a sack. 15 seconds in the ball game. Hester to pass. Pressured, fires a pass in the flats. He stays in bounds. And out of bounds it goes at the 22-yard line. 9 seconds to play. They're in field goal range with that kicker.
And what they can do now is ask the kicker, what hash mark do you want it on? And they can just run the quarterback out, roll it out, have him take a knee, and call a timeout with about 3 seconds left. That was about the perfect play if you're McMinn County right there.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, 9.1 seconds to play here. Caden Hester, a sack, and the ball game is almost over here. Hester is going to hand it off to the back. He's hit right in the middle of the line. Down he goes, and they use their final timeout. The ball is going to be put down at the 21-yard line. Yeah, the clock is still at 9.1. Who is the clock keeper from Knox County? They're looking at the clock. Oak Ridge is arguing, we don't need a penalty. They know the clock did not start. They know it. His name is Mark Haste. He's running the clock. That's who it is. 13-12 is our score. The Wildcats. And how much time?
You just can't have this sort of situation late in the game because high school fans, it's an emotional game. Communities are entrenched and invested in these games, and any little thing that they can pick and choose at to say, well, that wasn't fair, it's natural. It's human ability to do. You can't have this happen twice in the last 20 seconds, 15 seconds of a ball game.
What a heartbreak if the Wildcats, for either team here, because the Cherokees have moved the ball all the way from around the 1 or 2 yard line. They have moved it to the 23-yard line. It's still a pretty long kick for a high school kid, but he almost hit a long one. They're only going to take 2 seconds off the clock on that one. That's probably right because they went up the middle. That's about right. 7 seconds to go in the ball game. 13-12. And the Wildcats will watch them bring their field goal unit, I believe, or will they try to run another play? I wouldn't.
I don't think
they don't have a timeout. That would be absolutely dumb.
Coaching malpractice.
Yes.
And here's the thing: you think about that, going back to that fake field goal, that 2-point conversion attempt from Oak Ridge. Had they got this, the emotions will be a little bit different here. It all comes down to this.
They're going to put the block down at the 29-yard line, making this a 39-yard kick from the left hash to give them the lead. The Wildcats on top, 13-12. Here's the snap. It's perfect. The kick is on its way. Blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Oak Ridge is headed to the third round! Oak Ridge is headed to the third round! Oak Ridge blocks the kick! Oak Ridge wins! Oak Ridge wins! 13-12 the final score! Pandemonium reigns at McMinn County High School! The Wildcats blocked the field goal! Oak Ridge headed to the Powell Panthers home field in the third round of the TSSAA playoffs. Wow.
Woo. And the Secret City collectively exhales. What a moment.
Who blocked that kick? They came in and just crunched it. It went sailing 15 or 10 yards back, and the Wildcats win 13-12.
I thought Elijah Rogers busted through. I thought I saw Elijah bust through first. Quite honestly, I can't say for sure. Regardless, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that the Wildcats are advancing to the third round.
Oak Ridge wins it 13-12. They'll be playing the Powell Panthers at Powell next week. What an end to the ball game. What a great finish. Came right down to the last play like it did a year ago when the Wildcats were denied inside the 5-yard line. Oak Ridge wins the game. McMinn County's 7-game winning streak comes to a close. Their 2-game winning streak over the Wildcats comes to a close, and the Wildcats win it in Athens. 13-12 is our final score. And I need a timeout. We've been streaming this game. We hope you've enjoyed what was a great second half of the Wildcats. The Wildcats score 13 unanswered points to win it 13-12. We appreciate Heather Hartman, Tracy Larrabee, Teresa Ledden, Dr. Garfield Adams, Ben Pomey, and Grant Henry for paying our rights fee to be able to stream this to you back in Oak Ridge. The Wildcats win it on a blocked field goal. 13-12 is the final score. The Wildcats win it. I need a timeout. We're gonna have player interviews and Coach Cummings coming up in a bit. The Wildcats win 13-12. We'll be back to Athens following this 2-minute timeout. I know. I was thinking the same thing when I was saying it.
We have the lights on now? Can we have the lights on now?
Yep.
Great.
Whoever was on the field taking pictures, you dropped your phone. Miss Cobb has it. 40 yards.
Welcome back to McMinn County High School, the Wildcats. What an exciting finish to the ball game. Oak Ridge wins it 13-12. They were going for a field goal. If you just tuned in, the Wildcats blocked the kick. Hopefully we'll find out. Alex is down on the field right now. He'll be speaking to Coach Cummings. We'll have some player interviews. What a great finish, though. I mean, the momentum shifted so many times. Lee, get in here and help me talk here while Coach Cummings has his final conversation with him. There's no off switch there.
Okay.
We're going to have what a great end to the ball game there. I mean, we looked like we were going in for a touchdown was going to put us ahead, and they were not going to be able to catch up. We fumbled it at the 1 or 2 yard line. They drive down the field. They get the ball in field goal range with a great kicker. We saw, obviously they have a lot of confidence in him, and then the Wildcats come up with a huge special teams play and block it.
Well, shout out to all the people who helped you raise money to stream this game, because what a game that was, and I'm glad we were able to stream so everyone could watch. But yeah, I mean, it looked like Oak Ridge, they had the ball there on the 1 yard line with, I don't know how much time was left, about maybe 3 minutes or less, and it was 1st and 10 on the 1. And
first and goal at the 1.
Yeah, 1st and goal at the 1. And Oak Ridge, honestly, I believe could have iced the game, and a fumble on the 1 yard line. I thought, when I was doing camera, I thought Garza landed on the ball, but it was taken away from him. And McMinn County, they started at their own 1 yard line, and ran a couple plays, moved the ball downfield, and Oak Ridge had a few defensive penalties there on that last drive, and then I couldn't see who blocked that field goal. But what a crazy finish, and we're looking for Alex down there on the field. He looks like he's going to do some post-game interviews for us, David.
Yeah, see if you can spot him there. I can't see him, and we can hear the radio station down here, but it's very, very, very cagey, and we'll see if we can get Alex's attention. There's still pandemonium, so many people down on the field there, and hopefully we'll go down to him. And maybe, Alex, if you want to just start talking, maybe because I can't see you at all. I know this is bad radio. The good news is the Wildcats have won 13-12, and they were headed to the third round to take on the Powell Panthers for the second time this year.
I see him. He's looking to him at the 15.
And
I'm down here on the field
trying to get him
with Brandon Hayward. Brandon, nobody knows who blocked the kick. I thought it was Elijah Rogers. Coaching staff on the way down here, they didn't know. I asked Coach Stewart. He didn't know. And somebody said, B-Hay. And that would be you, Brandon Hayward. What happened? Walk me through that play.
Well, it was stressful. It was a stressful drive. There was some bad calls on it. So when they brought that field goal thing out, we blocked it one time. So we knew what we had to do again. We went to the same side, same player. And I told me and Elijah, I was like, man, we ain't going to lose this game, man. This your senior year. I'm around with you. I said, you blow them up, I'm going to get back there. I got back there. Luckily, it was slow, but I got back there. It hit my helmet. That's why nobody knew, because no arms was extended. So it hit my helmet, and I blocked it. And we're going on to round 3.
I don't care if it hits your arm, your helmet, your shoestring. It doesn't matter. You blocked it. What's this ride home going to be like?
Oh, yeah. We turned a whole hour drive. We slept here. We're going back hype. Yes, sir. Slam them out. Get them off.
Thank you so much, Brandon Hayward. Let's talk to Javis Dozier now, who wasn't really involved in that last play, but what you were involved in is a two-headed monster between you and Jai Hunley. Passing game, you guys took a lot of shots in the first half. There were some guys open who weren't able to complete it. It looked like at halftime you guys made some adjustments, said, hey, let's go back to what we do best and run the football. Was that something you guys talked about at halftime?
Yeah, of course. Going into this week in practice, it was all about running the ball and stuff like that. We said in the get-go, we're going to try to throw some long balls on the first downs and stuff like that, but overall, we're going to run the ball. And when Josh started getting loose in the first half with a couple runs and stuff like that, went on my fault the second half with a couple runs, and I made that touchdown for him in the first and goal. After that, we set the tone running the ball and stuff like that. It should have been a little bit more easier to go down here, but we got the win, so it's cool.
Hey, it's all that matters, right? Doesn't have to be pretty or not painting pictures, right? That last touchdown run that gave Oak Ridge the 13-12 final score, the lead, right? It was, I don't even remember at this point if it was a run or if it was a short pass. You broke through the line of scrimmage, and the line did a really good job blocking for you. But once you got past, I thought, the second level of that defense to the backers, it was all determination. You made one guy miss, you stiff armed another. Talk about that determination.
Oh, yes. We ran that play that same drive earlier. I got about, 20 yards off of that. We did it again. I seen the defensive formation and stuff like that. I knew they wasn't gonna be. I knew they knew to play at that moment. And on top of that, the line, they executed right. I trusted the hole, got through there, made a steal from, I got to the end zone. Simple as that.
Last thing I'll ask you, what does it mean? I'm getting ready to talk with a senior friend of yours, another senior, one of the many seniors on this team, Elijah Rogers. You guys know what happened last year. You were a part of that. It was a game almost exactly like this. It was an ugly game, wasn't pretty, a one-possession game at the end. You guys came up short. What is it? How badly did you want it for these seniors to come out on top tonight?
Good, because last year they put all into it. Elijah Rogers was the main key of the offense last year. What was it called? He had so many passes, so many receptions, but we still came up short. Last year I wasn't really that big of a part of offense like that. I had a couple touches, but not like that, not like this game. It felt good to be part of that and help Elijah out and stuff like that, and the whole team out.
Hey, congratulations. Have a fun bus ride back.
Thank you.
We got Elijah Rogers now. He's got some paparazzi with him. Elijah, first off, congratulations. Big win tonight. Talk about your emotions through this game. It had to be a little bit of a roller coaster, right?
At first, it was a little scary. I was a little nervous at first. We started off kind of slow. But after we came in for halftime, Coach gave us a great speech. We amped up the team. We came out. We was ready to play. And it was game after that.
Passing game, you're usually one of the main cogs, you and Brandon on the outside. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? It just wasn't really there tonight. The slippery ball, what was happening, you guys weren't able to connect. But in one of the biggest plays of the game, people are going to remember that kick. But without you extending that drive and continuing to milk clock off on that 3rd and long, you hit it looked like a post route towards the middle of the field. Great pass. You had to make a big play there. That was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, sir. I couldn't even do it on my quarterback, man, EG. He always believed in me. We've been working all season, after practice, before practice, anytime we get. So I know whenever it come down to it, he know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be up and always make a big play.
That last play, I want you to walk me through that because that's going to be the memorable one, right? Of all the plays, the field goal block. Brandon Hayward, okay, he tells me that he told you before that play, if you get him blocked, I'm going to run through him and block that. Is that what happened? Talk us through before that play and then walk me through that play as you saw it get deflected.
So before that play, we just looked at the clock and we realized it was like 7 seconds left. And Coach Cummins was like, we need a block. And so me and B-Hay, we came up on the left side and we switched. So he was closest to the line. And so he had to hit the blocker and I was going to come in and get the block, but I slipped. But luckily we had Brian Kelly and also B-Hay right there to save the day. So couldn't do it without them, man.
Fellow senior Brian, you got a bunch of seniors, you being yourself a senior. A playoff win, there's nothing you can measure and say, well, it meant this much, right? Because it's so meaningful, I'm sure. But doing it against this team on this very field, on the same end of the field where you guys lost on the last play of the game last year, boy, this has got to be special.
Hey, this is a very special game. Last year, we came up short. This year, we came ready to fight. It's a very important game to us, especially all the seniors from last season. Seconds left, we lost the game. This year, we was coming to fight. We was ready to play.
Long bus ride back, much more enjoyable now. Yes, it's going to be a fun one, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Elijah Rogers, senior for the Oak Ridge Wildcats, a big part of the season, a big part of tonight's win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's keep it right here as we're going to quickly try to find head coach
Scott Cummings, as I've located him. He's talking to another senior for Oak Ridge Truett Techs. Thank you, James Branson, directing traffic out here as we've got Oak Ridge principal Drayton Hawkins talking to Coach Cummings. So we'll keep it right here. Thank you to Josh Frazier doing the camera work. Got a lot of happy Wildcats, friends, family, loved ones, cheerleaders, dance team, fans, grandparents, everybody hanging out and really soaking this one up a little bit more than your normal victory. And as Coach Cummings is getting ready to join us, I just have to ramble on just a little bit more. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me do that, but we're trying to buy just a moment of time. I don't want to send it back up to David Clary yet, and then have to go to a break and put this on pause, as here comes Coach Cummings now. Coach Cummings, boy, what can you say after a game like that? That's I might took a couple years off both of our lives right there, but it's got to be worth it, right?
If we weren't on TV, I could say some choice words right now because Coach Cummings is about to pass out. We really struggled in the first half on offense. Defense played really well. Second half, we made some great adjustments. I thought our whole coaching staff contributed to those adjustments and really played a big role in helping our kids get in better position. And our kids, how awesome is that for our kids to show that resiliency? They could have been, the first half was so frustrating, but to come back in the second half and make those plays and defense continue to play well, give up a few things, and then have every break in the world on their side, every one of them on their sideline over there, with some penalties. That boy, I'm gonna have to watch the video on some of those. But man, again though, we got dudes, and we asked them to make a block, and I don't know who blocked it, but it must have been 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Brandon Hayward's taking credit for it, and Elijah Rogers said he and Brian Kelly, were involved. I want to ask you something before we talk about the ending of the game. First half, it looked like you guys came out and you had seen something on tape where you thought you could get behind the defense, and you guys did. You weren't able to complete them, but at halftime, clearly there was an adjustment made where you guys said, "Hey, we're gonna dance with the horses that got us here, right? We're gonna do what we do best. That's give the ball to 7 and 22. It worked."
Well, we've really struggled to connect on post routes and some vertical game stuff at times, and they kept to the one receiver side. They're rolling their safety down weak there to help in run support, and we knew we had some stuff over the top of him, but we just struggled to connect on them. But man, I also got to turn that around and give Ethan Garza a ton of credit. In the second half, we ran the wheel route out of the backfield, and man, it was a beautiful, just perfect throw and catch, and got on 3rd and long. That was a huge play. And then to hit Elijah Rogers, downfield on a strike, so Ethan really picked it up, made some plays in the second half. I was really proud of him for having that kind of that fortitude to do that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got 7 and 22 in the backfield. You got to give them the rock, right?
Yeah, you absolutely do. And I know you weren't a part of this team a year ago, but I know Coach Gaddis being your athletic director, being in Oak Ridge, being amongst this team, I know you know what happened. Not only was it a last-second play where Oak Ridge had a shot to win it and came up short, but it was on the same field against the same team, on the same hash, on the same end of the field.
Right. Yes, you're right.
And, you that's got to be special. How much does that mean? How happy are you for this senior group especially?
What I'm happy for is, for our seniors and our football team, but, I'm happy just for Oak Ridge football, and our community. We need to come out next week. It's, obviously Powell's a really good football team. I think we're better than we were the first time we played them, though. I think we found some things along the way and think we're better. So, we need to go out and compete and go to try to win that football game, and that's going to take our community being with us.
Last thing I'll ask you, because I know you want to celebrate, I'm going to ask you about that. You talk about last week, you said, playoff victories don't come real often. You got to celebrate those a little extra harder. Well, you got about an hour and 10-minute bus ride to celebrate. What's that going to be like?
At least the first part of it's going to be loud. All right, at least the first part of it's going to be loud. So, the bus might shake a little bit, and we'll probably play some music back there, and Coach Cummings might, give them a show.
Hey, well, maybe we'll get some video on that. We'll play it on the Wednesday night show. Coach, hey, congratulations. Regardless of what you want to say or what you want to think, this is a historical moment in Oak Ridge football. It's one of those that we play on the highlight shows where you hear so many David Clary calls. You had another one tonight. This is one of those moments, 10, 15 years, you look back, and all of Oak Ridge is going to remember this one fondly.
Roll, Wildcats, roll, baby.
Thank you so much, David Clary. Let's send it back up to you in the booth. Thanks to Coach Cummings. David?
Thank you very much, David and Alex, for doing the post-game interviews on the field. I'm just going to run down a few final scores here around East Tennessee and the Knoxville area. The game that we've been paying attention to the most, Walker Valley and Powell. Powell all over Walker Valley, 48-0. So Oak Ridge will travel to Powell next Friday night in the third round of the 5A state tournament, or the playoffs. A few other scores here. Our friends over at Oliver Springs traveled up to Cloudland tonight. Oliver Springs 35, Cloudland 12. Knox Central traveling up to Daniel Boone. Boone winning that one 30-7. Greenville ending Gibbs' season. Greenville final score 58, Gibbs 28. Farragut traveling up to Science Hill. Science Hill winning that one 40-19 over Farragut. Alcoa final score 42, Pigeon Forge 20. Anderson County squeaked out a win. Anderson County 30, Elizabethton 24. Coldfield knocked off Unaka 55-12. Maryville ended Bearden season tonight. Final score Maryville 28, Bearden 10. Knoxville West all over Morristown West. Final score West 68, Morristown 14. And that's all the scores I have, but the most important one is Oak Ridge 13, McMinn County 12. I'm going to send it over right now to Mark Hayes, who's got our final stats.
Victorious tonight by a final score of 13-12 over McMinn County. Looking at the scoring summary, McMinn County got on the board first with 3:59 remaining in the first quarter on a 4-yard run by quarterback Caden Hester. Point after attempt by Spencer Sullins was blocked by Brian Kelly, and that's how the Oak Ridge trailed 6-0. That series took 4 plays, 1 minute, 54 seconds off the clock, and 4 yards. They had it first and goal from the 4 after a blocked punt. Next score was also by McMinn County. It was 10:09 remaining in the third quarter. 1-yard run by quarterback Caden Hester again for his second touchdown on the night. 2-point conversion was no good, and McMinn County led 12-0. With 5:22 remaining in the third quarter, Oak Ridge finally gets on the board with a 2-yard run by DeJovis Dozier. Point after attempt by David Wilson was good, and Oak Ridge cut into the lead 7-12. Now looking further into the into the game, in the fourth quarter, Oak Ridge scored again with 8:50 on the clock on a 31-yard run by DeJovis Dozier. 2-point conversion by Jai Hunley was short. So Oak Ridge led at that point 13-12, and that was the final score. The exciting finish to the game was a 39-yard field goal attempt that was blocked by Brandon Hayward. Now looking at the statistics, let's see, Oak Ridge led on the ground by DeJovis Dozier. He had 15 carries for 109 yards. His long was that 31-yard touchdown run. Jai Hunley, 16 carries for 90 yards. That's an average of 5.6 yards per carry. Amani Rimbert, he had 16 yards on 5 carries. Brandon Hayward had a 5-yard carry. And quarterback Ethan Garza had 3 rushes for minus 10 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 40 times, totaling 210 yards on the ground. That's an average of 5.3 yards per carry. Through the air, quarterback Ethan Garza for the Wildcats, he was 10 of 23 for 151 yards. He had 2 interceptions on the night. Receiving for the Wildcats, Elijah Rogers had 3 receptions for 52 yards. Jarvis Dozier had 2 receptions for 41 yards. Brian Kelly had a 32-yard reception. Connor Cummings had an 11-yard reception. Brandon Hayward with a 6-yard reception. Almani Rimbert, a 5-yard reception. And Jai Hunley had a 4-yard reception. So, as a team, the Wildcats had 210 yards on the ground on 40 carries, at 151 yards through the air on 10 receptions, for a total offense of 361 yards. Wildcats had 14 first downs in the ball games. They were penalized 12 times for 115 yards. The interesting thing, if I remember correctly, at the half, Oak Ridge definitely had less than 60 total offensive yards. So in the second half, Oak Ridge had over 300 yards. Now looking at McMinn County, they were led on the ground by number 9, Jaden Miller. He had 18 carries for 170 yards. That's an average of 9.4 yards per carry. A lot of his carries were for short yards, but man, when he would bust a run, he would bust a long run for the Cherokees. Cody Thompson had 6 carries for 7 yards, and quarterback Caden Hester, 13 carries for 6 yards. So as a team, the Cherokees had 183 yards on the ground on 37 carries. Through the air, quarterback Caden Hester, he had 8 of 18 for 53 yards. He had no interceptions on the night. Receiving for the Cherokees, they were led by Jaden Miller, number 9. He had 28 yards on 3 receptions. J.D. Prince had a 12-yard reception. Luke Hensley with a 5-yard reception. Cole Pryor, 4 yards on 2 receptions, and Dakota Thompson had a 4-yard reception. So as a team, the Cherokees had 183 yards on the ground on 37 carries. They had 53 yards through the air on 8 receptions, for a total offense of 236 yards. Cherokees earned 11 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 8 times for 57 yards. Now looking at the team side by side, rushing yards, Oak Ridge 210, McMinn County 183. Receiving yards, Oak Ridge had 151, McMinn County 53. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 361 total offensive yards, McMinn County 236. First downs, Oak Ridge had 14, McMinn County 11. Penalties, Oak Ridge 12. Penalties for 115 yards, McMinn County 8 penalties for 57 yards. Again, Oak Ridge victorious tonight over McMinn County by a final score of 13-12, and Oak Ridge moves on to the 3rd round of the playoffs. David?
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate that. 13-12 is the final score. The Wildcats in the final 8 in the state. Alex Myers.
Oh, and I'm like Coach Cummings. I just need to catch my breath. To sum it up in simply 2 words, instant classic. I mean, I told Coach Cummings, I don't know if you were able to hear, I know the signal's tough down here. When you do the Wednesday night shows and your voice is on the highlight tapes, whether it's Sean Summers or I know you weren't there, but Jackie Pope and all these historic plays. I think of the Central game in the early 90s that sent Oak Ridge to the state championship, that block kick. That's immediately what came to my mind. And this is one of those plays that goes on that highlight tape as an all-time memorable play in the history of a program that's had so many of them.
Wildcats going to take on the Powell Panthers. We got beat by them over at Powell 30-14. We've lost 2 in a row, but I heard Coach Cummings say we're playing better than we did at that particular time, but obviously Powell put it on Walker Valley tonight, so they're obviously playing their best ball. It's going to be a tough one. It's a tough place to play, playing the defending state champions on their home field in the final 8 in the state with a chance to get another home game at Blankenship Field if you can win. It's going to be a tough challenge. The Wildcats taking on Powell next week.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And this is not revisionist history right here. We said it at the time. Powell may have been the better team at that point in time, but they were not however many points better than Oak Ridge that they won that game by. I mean, that was a blowout. It really wasn't close. But Oak Ridge made a lot of mental mistakes, and had a lot of self-inflicted inflicted issues. And, David, that's a game that Oak Ridge immediately would have liked to have had a redo on, as they just didn't play well. And it was a game that you thought, hey, maybe Powell wins that if you play that again, but it wouldn't be like it was. And so Oak Ridge gets their wish. They get another shot at them next week. And boy, it seems like these two teams have gone back and forth, and we'll have another edition next week, and I cannot wait. I'm excited.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to raise some more money next week to do a stream. I don't know if we're allowed to next week. I think Powell might have the exclusive rights for that. I'll check on that, but if not, I might be asking the Oak Ridge community once again to help us out with the streaming fee. Gavin, pronounce your last name for me.
Kentop.
Kentop. Gavin Kentop has been our newest cameraman tonight. I didn't want to mess his name up right in front of him. We appreciate him. We appreciate Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our statistics. Appreciate Lee Wexler. I thought he did a great job on the top camera tonight. Josh Frazier, Matthew Charles, Drew Thomas, Brian Bennett back in the studios. Next Oak Ridge ball game, we'll be streaming a game Tuesday, the Wildcat basketball team taking on York, and then Friday, the Wildcats taking on the Powell Panthers at Powell High School. We'll have the broadcast beginning at 6:30 with our pregame show, the kickoff from Powell at 7 o'clock. Once again, the good news from Athens, Tennessee, home of Mayfield Dairies. We might get some milkshakes on the way home here. That'll make it even better as we head back to the Ridge with a win over the McMinn County Cherokees. Final score of the ball game, the Wildcats win it 13-12. For all the people I mentioned before, this is David Clary. Until next week, saying so long, everybody.